Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Fun Pop, episode number 58. 3-Bit's on his way. He'll be here probably in like 10, 15 minutes. So he said 15 minutes. That's probably 45 minutes, actually, in 3-Bit time. So we'll see. 3-Bit may join us at some point during the show. Don't hold your breath. But thanks, everybody, for being here in the chat. And we got some cool stuff to talk about today. The writer's strike is ending for Hollywood, which means that a lot of the movies and stuff are going to get back on track, more regular cadence, I think, which has been a long time coming for Marvel, I think, since COVID, and they finally started getting some more movies repeatedly, regularly out, and then they had the writer's strike, and that delays things, and all this kind of stuff has kind of mismatched all the timelines and all that kind of stuff. We're going to talk about the Multiverse saga, kind of take a look back at everything that's been there so far, or what our thoughts about it, what are the highlights, disappointments, and then where do they go from here now that the writer's strike is wrapping up. Also, we'll talk a little bit about that Disney Marvel game that's heavily rumored, and maybe some speculation on what that could be for Bethesda. Or I said Disney Marvel game, but Disney game from Bethesda. I'm saying Marvel because I think it's probably Marvel, but Disney Bethesda game, right? That would be coming to Xbox, and we'll have some fun with that as well. But let's get to the people that are here right now. What's up to Psycho? How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good. Well, I was again like last night. I've been watching Game of Thrones, and I was almost through episode 7 of Ahsoka. So,
Right on. What season are you on Game of Thrones?
1, and it's about to be at the end.
Okay.
I don't know. Fuck it. I'll spoil it.
It's so old at this point, bro. Like,
dude, I haven't watched it yet. I don't
So Robert Baratheon, which is king, at King's Landing.
Yeah.
He just passed, so his son is now taking over.
Joffrey.
And then the what is it, the Littlefinger kind of just like pretty much said, I told you not to trust me.
Mm-hmm.
So
this I'm glad you're getting to watch it. I know you probably read the books or listened to the books with your library card.
Yes,
but there are like so many great moments in the show. Last season kind of wrapped everything up too quickly and stuff, but like the couple seasons, especially leading up to the last season, were so satisfying. Really good shit. So yeah, I'm glad you're gonna get to finally see it, bro. Jasper.
I'm rewatching that. I'm rewatching.
Oh, you're rewatching. Okay, I thought you were watching for the first time. Okay.
No, Nick, no.
I'm surprised they haven't made a big, really good game out of that yet.
I think it's because of George R.R. Martin. I think he kind of wants to have his books, finish his books, whenever the fuck that is, and I think then we'll possibly see video game rights at some point.
That'd be interesting. We'll see. I started watching House of Dragon. I didn't get into it too much. I stopped. It wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't grabbing me like Game of Thrones did. But yeah.
I just wish they kind of changed the intro for House of Dragon, just because of the fact that they kind of went too heavy of Game of Thrones and didn't separate itself. So they were just trying to like cash in on the fact that people liked Game of Thrones so much. So
yeah,
I kind of wish that they changed it. But we'll
see. Right on, man. How you doing, Jasper?
Pretty good. I've bought Cyberpunk DLC. It came out like 2 days ago. I haven't played it yet, but I bought it.
Are you still playing Starfield? Is that why you haven't played it, or like?
No, I just haven't had time this week to play it.
Yeah, with the whole people running into your house thing. That the insurance guy came over today, though, right? The adjuster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking to him today. So take care of that stuff, and then been watching
it's your
Star
fault.
Wars Rebels, trying to redo that
Yeah.
just so I can catch up with the Ahsoka stuff.
Right on.
So that's pretty much all of this kind of show content related stuff I've been doing.
So did y'all have like a homeowner's insurance guy come over, or was it his car insurance guy come over?
We rent this place, so like the landlords have like homeowners insurance here,
Right.
and then it's talked to them, and then he talked to the neighbors and got all their insurance stuff too, so they
Okay.
can.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm just curious with a car hits a house, like, and it's the car's fault. Like, I was think it's car insurance, but I don't know. Interesting
Was
stuff.
it Jake from State Farm that helped you?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, not Jake.
No.
Shame. Was it the Limu Emu show up?
She sounds hideous.
It may be a like Farmers Bureau, I think.
Farm Bureau?
I don't know.
Farm
Yeah,
Bureau?
Farm Bureau.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big
I didn't know if
insurance
that was, like,
company in the
local.
South. No, like we have them here in Texas too. I think they're more southern states and stuff like
Yeah.
that, you know.
We are farmers. Da 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 da
Not,
da.
not farmers, it's different. Farm Bureau.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
Okay,
farmers insurance, and then for my job, I meet with insurance guys all the time. So like I'm real familiar with all
yeah.
those people. But anyway,
do they give you steaks?
no, they usually don't like me.
Oh.
I'm trying to get them to pay for stuff. So, but anyway, let's get into some of this conversation that we have. The writer's strike is officially wrapping up, everybody. Chat, are you excited? The writer's strike is coming to an end. I haven't really noticed, to be honest with you. I mean, there's been some like delays with production of things like that, but still had plenty of stuff to watch, right? I guess if you were like the daytime talk shows and stuff like that is kind of where you probably had the most impacts, because
That
those are
shit's
like
trash, anyways.
but those shows are like filmed like daily and stuff like that, right? So, but for a Marvel side, and we're gonna go heavy into Marvel on this episode, it's hopefully giving them a chance to get everything on track. I think the next movie we have for them is Marvel's. Then we have Deadpool 3. I couldn't even tell you what's after that, to be honest. Right now, I have a list, so we're gonna go through that. But kind of wanted to take a look back, and maybe the Multiverse Saga isn't as bad as we think, or maybe it's like there's a chance that it's all gonna turn into something good, right? Infinity Saga was fantastic, right? Absolutely one of the best things ever in movies, period, I think. But Multiverse Saga started out pretty rough, I would say, for the most part.
Yeah, I think the Infinity Saga, I think it had its lull, like with Civil War. Like I feel like it kind of started slowing down a bit. Like after Civil War, like it took a while for us to get back to the Thanos stuff, but not this long.
Yeah.
Maybe because we had like movies that kept coming back to the stories that we had and with characters.
Yeah.
Kept popping in each other's show or movie.
You felt more invested,
Yeah.
right? So, I'm going to go through a list here. And what I want to do is kind of go back and look at this phase so far, and we can kind of like judge them based on how they've been doing. And if we actually, now that some time has passed, where are these movies sitting with us, right? Now, the other aspect to this is like, you got to look at this as well. Like, a lot of these movies came out like post-COVID era and all these kind of things, and like the timelines were all disjointed. Movies sets were shut down, all this kind of stuff. So you had movies come out different times, and they probably were supposed to come out. You had the launch of Disney Plus as well, so you had all of a sudden an influx of TV shows in the mix. And then now you also have you added the writer's strike on there, which pushed a couple other movies back as well. So like, even though there's been a lot of movies, it doesn't feel like it's been at more of a regular cadence for the big ones that we're used to, it seems like. And we've been getting a lot of filler with some of the shows. But let's get back into the start of this saga. But before I do that real quick, hey, what's up, chat? I want to thank everybody for being here. You guys all rock. Thanks for watching Fun Pop. And hope you enjoy the conversations. All right, so first movie for Phase 4, which was the Multiverse Saga, Black Widow.
I thought it was Spider-Man, wasn't it?
That's listed as the end of Phase 3. It came out after Endgame, I know. But I think they consider it. I think they consider that a culmination of Phase 3, and that was Spider-Man: Far From Home, which came out in 2019.
Then wasn't Doctor Strange after that?
But there was another Spider-Man. There's Spider-Man: No Way Home. Spider-Man: No Way Home is in Phase 4.
Okay.
Yeah, the other Spider-Man, the one with Jake Gyllenhaal, right, as a Mysterio, that was the end supposedly of Phase 3. Is what it's listed as. That's what Marvel and Disney consider it.
Yeah, because that took place around it wasn't Civil War.
No.
It was after Civil War.
It was way after Civil War. Far From Home? Yeah. That was after Endgame.
No, I know that it was released, but where it took place because oh no, yeah, you're right, because Iron Man was dead, so never mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a lot of
Spoiler.
I forgot.
Yeah. Well, that's if anybody hasn't seen Endgame at this point, it's like one of the biggest movies ever. Like
yeah, if you haven't saw it, sorry that you've been living under a rock.
Yeah. So the first movie, according to Marvel, Phase 4, is Black Widow. Now, this one also is weird, right? Because Black Widow didn't really fit with the timeline of being in Phase 4. Because that actually was like after Civil War in the timeline, right?
Well, yes and no. It was also like one of the first, because it took place in like what, the fucking 80s or 90s or whatever at the start of it. When she was like a little girl.
Yeah, I mean, there was flashback stuff and all that kind of stuff, you know. And then you had a lot of the look backs to when she was like with the Red Guardian and all those, or is it Red Guardian? What's his name?
Yeah, that was her father.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have her father. Oh, the father figure guy, David Harbour?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, not really father, but anyway, hey, what's up, 3-Bit? Okay, welcome to the show. We'll get to you when you get your mic on. So Black Widow, it was timeline-wise, it didn't fit within Phase 4, which is a weird start to Phase 4, in my opinion, right? Like, the events that were all taking place was like right after Civil War. This one started off the phase with some people feeling like, ooh, I don't know if I like this because it's very different from Marvel.
And it's also a Black Widow movie. Like, no one asked for it.
I gotta say, I actually liked Black Widow. But I don't think I'm with the consensus there, or the overall consensus. Like, is it sitting better with you guys at all?
I mean, it was all right, but...
Yeah, I have the same opinion from when we last did Fun Pop. I thought it was like decent. Like I what I said before is I like the family dynamic.
Yeah.
And I liked Yelena more than Black Widow. I felt like she had more character than Black Widow, which I almost had a problem with.
More personality.
More personality, I would say. It's been a while since I watched it, so I feel like it's good to change. Also, hello everybody.
It's interesting too because right after this movie came out, there was a huge falling out with Scarlett Johansson and Marvel and Disney, right? They had a big like contract dispute or something. She wasn't
because
getting,
they put it on Disney Plus instead of like theaters or whatever it was.
And her like, I guess her contract was like stipulated on like box office numbers potentially or something like that, and
so she didn't get paid as much.
Yeah, then Kevin Feige actually went to her defense, I think, is kind of how the story went down, and they worked things out. Is that the end of Scarlett Johansson and the MCU? Do y'all think this will be the last we see of her? Now, no, if we go into spoilers also, again, if with the Infinity Saga, you know, like, she's in the Soul Stone or whatever now, right? So, but I've laid out on past Fun Pops way back in the day a very realistic way they could bring her back. But do y'all think this is it? You think we'll ever see her again? Well,
No.
multiverse is anything's possible.
I mean, I'm all right with Yelena.
No, we won't see that. We won't
Yeah, I
see
feel
Scarlett
like-
Johansson no more.
I don't feel like we'll see her again, but
So if you think
maybe
of,
yeah, go ahead.
how many different? What if it's a variant of Scar?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Well, they'll
Maybe
bring like
it's a variant.
somebody else. Yeah.
No, I
Well,
mean,
Well, that's
somebody
what
else
her
will.
that's
as
what
a variant.
Yelena's gonna.
No,
Oh.
she won't. She will not be Black Widow anymore.
Why do you say that?
Why she won't be?
Yeah.
Because Marvel's already said that they want to move past the actors that they've had and go to new, younger actors so they can pay them less, so they can make
Right.
more profit.
What I mean is like cameos and stuff like that. Like, okay, so what's the big movie that we're gonna get? It's gonna be Secret Wars, right? So
Yeah, I could
that's
see
gonna
him
be the
coming
big
back
one.
for that, but she wouldn't have as much screen time as she does in like Iron Man or
No.
Avengers
I
and
think-
stuff.
yeah, I think Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth. Chris Hemsworth's gonna be Thor for longer, but
Yeah,
you have a lot of these people, right? That like maybe they just make cameos and stuff. you
yeah.
know?
But I think it's only going to be for like the super big movies. It's not going to be for just some random like.
Yeah, they wouldn't waste.
She's not going to pop up in Captain Marvel next month or whatever and be like, "Hey, I'm Black Widow." Bye. It's like it's going to save it for like
probably see if she was to come back in some way, then maybe Secret Wars. But I would see them as like decision making. If I was Marvel, I could see them being like, okay, let's just make Yelena like a bigger character, or
yeah.
I could see them doing that too. Because Secret Wars is supposed to be like the next big Marvel.
Yeah, it's
Marvel
like a
movie.
culmination type thing, right? Like,
Yeah, like in the story, that's where Spider-Man gets his black suit. That's where the symbiote is first kind of introduced. That's where
If they do the multiverse stuff, like that's when you can have fun with it. And I would say don't bring her back because you can cast anyone at that point. Like you could even have a dude as Black Widow or some shit, it's like because it's the multiverse.
yeah, I mean, we know they're doing a Fantastic Four, and I doubt that guy's gonna still be John Krasinski or whatever.
yeah.
I doubt he's gonna be Reed Richards. And there was rumors that like with Deadpool, that there's gonna be multiple Wolverines and stuff. So I could just see them if they did want to do a Black Widow. I don't know.
So I mean, Yelena is definitely going to be the new Black Widow, right? There's no question about that. And I'm talking about maybe like fan service type, big moment type things in certain aspects down the line.
Maybe a flashback, like Yelena and her.
It
I could see that.
It depends with Scarlett Johansson. If she still has a bad taste in her mouth with how Disney handled it.
Well, they worked things out, and she got her money and all that kind of stuff. I understand.
I mean, if someone fucks you over, are you gonna be like, I'll come back.
But
so you
if
can
it's
fuck
for
me
like
over
a
one more time."
cameo, like big moment in a like 15 minutes on like one big movie or something. Here's a theory, right? I think during Secret Wars or something like that, you're gonna have some big like multiverse type moment or whatever, and you're gonna see the like original Avengers show up, right?
Yeah.
Like you're gonna see Iron Man as Robert Downey Jr. You're gonna see fucking Chris Evans, as Captain America. You're gonna see Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow. You're gonna see Jeremy
would be
Renner as Hawkeye. You're gonna see Hulk in all full pure Hulk form because they have the rights to Hulk again.
They'll either have it to where they show the original Avengers cast, or what they'll do is they'll put the new ones right next to them in the same shot, just so you can see, like, look, we're all back together now. We even have our new versions next to our old versions. You remember these guys?
Yeah, I think they'll be like, we're here to help this
Or the
big moment,
deepfake.
and then they're gonna go back into their own timeline, right?
Or the deep fake all them.
No,
They
would
do
need
have
the
the rights to them, I think.
to their
Yes, sir.
faces and stuff.
Yeah, that was a big thing.
Mm.
Like a lot of the actors, Marvel actors, went in like a trailer and and they got all their faces scanned, and none of the actors were like, well, most of the actors were basically like, "What is this for?" or whatever, and they realized that they signed away their rights for their
Likeness.
James Thomas says,
likeness.
"All right,
He's not dead.
He's not. Jeremy Renner didn't die. He survived. Amazingly, he survived. That guy, like what he had to overcome with that accident is absolutely insane. But he's okay, and he's I don't think he's done also with the MCU. Like
He's the new Winter Soldier. Instead of his arm, is his leg now.
oh God, whatever. Yeah, you're gonna see. I think you'll see him show up. The thing is, he's probably not as, at least for the time being, as mobile and capable as he was as Hawkeye, right? So I don't know how his rehab's going. Last time I saw him, he was on an interview. It was like 60 Minutes or something like that, and he had just started walking again, right? So I don't know how long his rehab is going to go, how much full mobility, all that kind of stuff. But it's going to be.
They were already phasing him out in the Marvel movies.
Yeah,
anyway,
no, for sure. Like the Hawkeye show, right? It was already
What?
setting that
Hawkeye
path.
was the biggest Marvel character that they had for the Infinity Saga. What are you talking about?
I loved Hawkeye. I loved all the originals, man. It's
the
like
Hawkeye was all right. Like people
he was
like
like
always
the
shit
only
on him because
real
he
person.
has no powers or whatever. But it's like,
shit.
I mean,
being able
it's
to like
better than-
look one way and shoot
Yeah,
an
I liked
arrow
it.
like far away the other way and hit somebody and cause a flying bicycle to blow up in midair. Yeah, that's a skill, in my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah, I liked it. It was very much. If you guys seen there was the graphic novel of Hawkeye, which it was very heavily based on, like even in the intro, like the style of the intro of the show was like kind of inspired by that, and I liked the moments they used from the novel and how he taught like what's the girl's name? Hawkeye girl.
Kate Bishop.
Yeah, Kate Bishop. How in the novel he's basically teaching her how to use the bow and how he would get injured and stuff. I don't know. I always found that kind of fascinating. Like he actually deals with injuries in the show. They kind of talked about like, yeah, he's been getting beat up over time and he's not feeling the best.
Yeah, he doesn't have a suit of armor and he doesn't heal fast. So he's like, when
Yeah.
he gets punched, he's like, shit, I actually feel this.
Which I really liked in the show. Like they actually tackled that because I always wondered, like he's just a freaking normal dude with a bow. Like he lost some of his hearing even over time, and I'm glad they actually showed that. So
Yeah,
I don't know. I really like the show
for sure. So we got way off track.
Yeah, we did.
Black Widow though overall, like Jasper said, it was all right. 3-bit
for what? Black Widow.
Black Widow. Yeah. Like
Yeah,
looking
it's
back
been a
on it
while.
now, it's been out for a couple years. So
A lot of
Where's
people
this-
hated it. I was just always in a boat where I was like, that was pretty cool. I like moments of it. I'm a very much a visual effects person now, so like certain effects things will bother me.
The thing with that
But-
movie though is I feel like they ruined Taskmaster and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
that's what a lot of people had a problem with.
yeah, and then like
Yeah.
it's just not a movie. Like if I'm gonna go back and rewatch a Marvel movie, it's probably gonna be one from the first phase, and it's definitely not gonna be. Even if the new phase stuff, Black Widow's not gonna be my choice if I had to rewatch one movie.
So let's
Like-
say they had a badass good Taskmaster in it. Like, would the movie sit differently?
I mean, it would be like a point better,
Yeah.
but that's not like it's still a Black Widow movie. I don't give a shit.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like for me, Taskmaster is such a big character in the moment where Taskmaster is like goes against all the Avengers, how powerful the Taskmaster is.
Yeah.
He's like steals all their moves and stuff. So yeah, that was definitely a point off for me for how they handled Taskmaster. But
yeah, the writing
honestly,
the worst with that arc for the villain, right?
yeah, it wasn't the best, but
They should have striked at that point.
I think why I can still watch it and enjoy it is the chemistry between Black Widow and Yelena. Honestly, I think
Yeah,
the actress
That's the
who's
only
Yelena is
thing that made that movie good. was the chemistry between her, the two sisters, and the family.
Yeah.
all together. That chemistry right there.
I would
is
love to
what
see all of them together in
made
another
it-
movie. To be honest, like that would be good.
Yeah.
That made it enjoyable enough. As a individual movie, Black Widow was fine. It wasn't great, but it wasn't horrible. But within the universe of with the phases and what was transpiring, it was a pointless movie. It had nothing of any substance to bring into progressing the story.
Yeah,
along.
the only thing it added was Yelena, because they could finally
Yeah,
make her appear in the
that's
shit.
it. Yelena and the evil Elaine at the end.
Yeah.
I forget her
So-
name, but
Like with with Loki, right? And the whole variant things going on, and like the demolishing of that whole organization. You had the start of King the Conqueror and all that kind of stuff. Does that open the door for more just random stuff for people to come back and show up randomly? Because like variants can now potentially, with everything going on in the multiverse right now, just show up left and right. Like I think maybe that's what the Loki show coming up is going to set up potentially.
well, it's things are happening, and what at the end of Deadpool 2, with what Deadpool was fixing the timeline because he was able to go back in time with Cable's
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
time
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
time traveler. That is fucking up with the timeline. So the TVA is going to be a part of that movie as well. But you will definitely see things branch off, and we could possibly see, two Black Widows, or Iron Man's, just someone like the Tom Cruise Iron Man.
See, that's the thing though. Since the TVA is gone now, like if you want to start getting to the like timeline bullshit stuff, like
Well,
timeline is no longer a loop anymore. It's just a straight path now because there's no control over it anymore. So anything that happens is now the standard timeline. There's no like multiple timeline stuff because the TVA is gone. There's no one controlling the timeline. So anything that happens is on a linear line now.
Our TVA in our Earth timeline is gone. There's TVA in other regions. That's how when Loki came back, he thought he was his timeline. Is when he ran up to Morbius. It was like, like he's dead or something like that along the lines, or and then they're like, who are you? And it's like, what? And then you look, it pans over to the statue, and it wasn't the three, not Time Lords, but the three creators. And then it was actually.
See, I took it as
King
like
the
they
Conqueror.
accidentally changed the timeline when they did that. I didn't take it as like they were in a different timeline.
It was different. It was a whole different timeline because it's totally changed. It wasn't the same Morbius, because I think that Morbius, I think he stayed behind, correct?
Yeah.
When he fought
I don't remember.
So-
It's been a while now, man.
Yeah.
Atheroth.
Yeah.
Is it
Honestly, I
Atheroth?
forgot about a lot of that.
The purple
that one.
cloud thing. I think he stayed behind with that.
That's the one thing with this saga so far is there's so many big moments that seem like they have huge ramifications that we could completely forget about because it's been so long and they haven't touched on it again, right?
But yeah, it's a whole different. Like I said, it's a whole. I feel that it's a whole different timeline. It's a whole different Morbius. So, it's like now things are branching off.
Alvin's
and
correcting you in the chat. Mobius.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mobius. Mobius. What did I said? Morbius.
Yeah, you're talking about the vampire dude or whatever.
Oh yeah, my bad. I'm sorry. I was playing Marvel Snap and I had Morbius
Freaking Mobius.
on my team.
That's a name, so we anticipate you getting it wrong.
Mobius.
That was such a bad.
Is it?
movie.
I didn't even remember what his name was. To be honest with you, like
Mobius.
yeah, Alvin could be right or wrong. And I wouldn't even freaking know.
No,
Owen
Morbius
Wilson's
is
character.
It's awful.
It's Morbin time. That's the
Yeah.
vampire.
So
That's
let's move on past Black Widow though. here's one that really stood out as an excellent new character, big time. I feel like, and the next movie was Shang-Chi. Right, for me, this felt like the true start of the saga. Right, introducing a big new hero with a great origin story, huge things that's personal to that character happening. Right, setting up the stage for him to play a big role. Introducing
Felt
him
like a first
to,
phase movie.
yeah, introducing him to the
Right.
Avengers, kind of, there at the end and stuff like that. It's like that was like, oh yeah, they're setting things up great here, right? And that's been a couple years now. We haven't seen anything else from that, but Shang-Chi
Definitely
was a big
the
standout.
best original like kind of character movie.
Yeah,
in this phase,
Yeah.
and
But
like
I mean,
even like
overall, like
Because
overall, yeah,
Loki, I think,
very good.
really set up the whole.
I mean, the only other
multiverse.
ones that were like, I think up there would have been like, this is up there with like introduction for characters, like up there with Iron Man and stuff like that.
So,
I
Like,
agree,
it's definitely
Like,
one of the best like
hard to do
introductions for a
origin movies.
character. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great.
yeah. I mean,
origin,
nobody gave a shit about
introduction.
Shang-Chi before this movie, and now it's like Shang-Chi is a badass. We all want to see more Shang-Chi, and we can't wait to see more Shang-Chi, right? Like, big standout, and somebody that
Is there a second one?
yeah, they're making one. Somebody that we see is like that could be like a main component of the new Avengers, right? The new like big time team that you want that person to have the multiple movies, to get in that role, to play a focal point in that story going forward. And that's what I want for Shang-Chi. But we'll see if it happens. I feel
Well,
like
see,
that's what
he's
they were setting up.
also like the problem with that is like I guess there are some stories where he's in the Avengers. We'll see if they follow the books or not. But for the most part, he's one of the street. He's like defenders type.
Yeah.
So there's like different
Yeah. Different
Avengers.
levels.
There's
to
like
this shit.
Threat
Yeah.
level teams.
different level threat.
Yeah.
Yes, there's like
Your
Defenders
neighborhood
is the
team.
street level.
And
Yeah.
then you're
Yeah.
like
He-
fucking
he's
galactic.
supposed to be
The
with
Daredevils, right?
Yeah.
Those guys.
He's actually supposed to be fighting with Daredevil, with
Iron
Luke Cage
Fist.
and them on the street level. Like
Jessica
he's
Jones.
best friends with like Luke Cage. And,
I think
and,
they kind of just used
like
Iron
Fist and all that.
Yeah, Iron Fist has played that role.
So they
for
might just
them
use
in
Iron
this,
Fist.
yeah. But like,
But he could. There's some stories.
I
in
think
there.
the movie was setting the stage for that with the ending, right? For him to play a bigger role in this saga. And also, I gotta give it like we're looking for great actors to portray these superheroes and all this kind of stuff. Like Simu Liu kicked ass as Shang-Chi.
That's true, Alvin.
Like,
Like he took down a freaking demon.
yeah, I mean he was a badass in that role. Like he did his own stunts. Like he did all this crazy shit to do it. And like I watched the behind the scenes making of it, and it was like,
I think
that's got to be really
the
hard.
problem with him is like, how do you introduce him to like the overall like alien like combat stuff? Like, do you see him fighting a Thanos? I don't know. That kind of stuff. Like, I don't know if.
Well, he's
he
still
would, like-
fresh. I think he's got to
Yeah.
grow into that, right? Like, so maybe there's more that he's gonna learn, along the way. So, first movie, like Iron Man got more badass each movie he was in, right?
I think
So did all
they
these
could
other
do
guys.
that with his like 10 rings if they make the 10
Mhm.
rings like something else. It's not like
Yeah.
some ancient artifact, or if it's something kind of like more than just a magical artifact. If it's like an
Well,
actual
they
like ancient celestial fucking creation or something.
They tease that at the end,
Remember-
right?
yeah.
Moon Knight.
Remember the end? Yeah, they teased some of that stuff going on there. Like they were trying to trace its origin, right?
Yeah.
So
And Spider-Man is supposed to be a street level hero, but they definitely
yeah,
I don't
he's-
know.
Yeah.
They
Like,
propped him up too. Yeah,
they propped him up to be kind of an
Yes, he was.
Avenger.
yeah,
So
for sure.
He's popular.
So here's one that's this movie, and this is on the thumbnail, because this is the next movie in the lineup. And we're touching on the movies, not as much on the shows, right? But this movie, I feel like the further I get away from it, the more it sits well with me. That I actually really loved this movie, and I think they actually did a great job. And I don't know if it was as appreciated as much as it should have been for what they were trying to do with it. And that is the Eternals.
Yeah, and it has the most potential out of any movie. I feel
Yeah.
like to connect to anything. Like it could go anywhere with this.
I think it was
So-
just so different for the MCU at the time that people were like caught off guard. Like, this doesn't feel like the MCU, right? This kind of felt like, who are these? This whole team of different people and stuff, and they feel like more powerful than anything else out there that we've seen so far. And there's like a Superman guy, there's a Flash guy or a Flash girl, like whatever.
That's how
there's
you're
like,
supposed to do Speed, okay?
Right.
If we're talking about the freaking Flash.
Yeah, it was
That's
badass.
how you do Speed.
She was badass in that role. And then you had the guy that creates stuff. You have the guy that mind controls people. Like, you had freaking
The Superman laser eye guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had the sword. You had was it Nicole Kidman who played the sword lady? Or no, was it no? Is
Angelina Jolie?
Yeah, Angelina Jolie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Athena,
Athena.
yeah.
Yeah,
So you had
Athena.
so many like big time characters all of a sudden, and I feel like at the time it was kind of like overwhelming for the MCU because it was like, who are these people?
Yeah,
We don't care
they were
about
telling
them,
like
right?
almost like 10 origin stories in one. It felt like.
Yeah.
And
The main girl
Yeah.
too, where she kind of forget what her role, what she could do. She could like
She-
change things.
she-
She could like change things into other things, right?
Yeah, I thought it was great. I mean, I don't know if I can't even remember what I originally thought about it. I think I was just in that boat where I was just overwhelmed,
Yeah.
like with everybody else. I was like,
It was good
Huh,
story
that was-
writing. It was like it was too much of a story like a good like fleshed out like Hollywood movie that a lot of people didn't like how that was set up, and they wanted that whole popcorn action.
I mean,
fucking
Eternals though is like
superhero.
it could be a standalone movie. Like,
Yeah.
if they didn't want to
That's what
connect
I'm
to
saying.
anything, they couldn't, and they wouldn't have to.
They
Like
didn't
that's
like,
it was.
a lot of people didn't like that.
Yeah.
I liked it, and I think you guys agree.
I
when you
liked
saw it.
how
It was
they
good. It was just it didn't tie that universe because when we after the whole Infinity Saga, we were leading up to this. What's the next? Because we didn't know it was really multiverse. We figured it was kind of like, all right, something to do with Wanda and Vision and the Darkhold. Okay, and then like Loki didn't come out yet. I think Eternals was before Loki, correct?
Um,
On the
I think Loki was
only,
after.
I'm only looking at a list for the movies, so
Yeah.
and
I
so
think
far
Loki came
the
out before
shows
Eternals.
haven't really tied a whole lot into the movies anyway.
Loki
so-
did.
Loki
tied in the whole premise
to the
of
Ant-
what
Loki
this-
to the
I mean,
Ant-Man, at
Loki
least,
introduced
right?
the bad guy, the main
Right.
the
overarching
bad guy,
bad guy.
the multiverse,
Mhm.
and the TVA. That there's this.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
Like Doodle
So,
says, Eternals knocked her out. Like as far as like being, it was also a slower movie for sure.
It did.
Yeah, it was
This-
long. As
yeah,
shit.
it actually. The first time I watched it, I knocked out too.
Yeah,
But
but
the second time I watched it, I enjoyed it.
it's weird. It's like sitting back with me and I'm appreciating the story that it told more because of how
Yeah.
it was
It,
presented than I did when I watched. I did say I like it after I watched it, right? But
yeah,
like,
I always said I liked it too. It's like
yeah,
I think it's honestly it's one of the better movies out of this phase.
Yes.
yeah.
Is this
It was
is
a fleshed
still?
out Hollywood.
it was this
movie. It was
phase?
great.
Oh yeah, I guess it was.
Well, we're
Phase
in
4.
phase 5 now, so it was phase 4, but it is saga at least.
That, that's
Yeah.
phase 4.
Which
Yeah.
one was Endgame?
No,
3.
Endgame
Yeah,
was
that's,
3.
That's
3?
phase 4.
Oh, okay.
No, Endgame was
This is all
3.
phase-
This is phase. We're in phase 5 now.
Internals is
No,
5?
no, Eternals was 4.
Hey,
We're
it's
in
four.
5.
So after it came out after Endgame.
Yeah,
Yes, yeah. It was
everything we're talking about came at
Yeah, we're
out
talking
after
about
Endgame.
the multiverse saga.
Post Endgame.
Yeah, so far.
Oh, what was interesting about it was that it did clarify some stuff from that previous phase and how they introduced like the gods and how the universe was created and the Marvel way. I thought that was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
The way they.
I kind of been itching to watch it again. Honestly, I might go watch it again.
The only problem with Eternals is they haven't called back to it yet.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
yet. But
Because it was like, how the heck did no one see
A giant
some of the
celestial
stuff?
come out the middle of the
freaking-
ocean.
Yeah, no one has mentioned that. And
Yeah.
I feel like it's not. I feel like Eternals is not canon.
And how do you
Yeah.
mention that? Did you have these invisible aliens or whatever just killing people?
Yeah.
They haven't mentioned it in any other thing. I don't.
Yeah,
I can't
'cause
think of a single piece where they
because
mentioned
a
it.
lot of that stuff happened when it was like BC era. Because
Oh,
when they
I mean,
came-
that was just like the first 30 minutes of the movie before
yeah, that was BC. That was,
Yeah,
like,
but
when
the giant
people-
celestial that's cracking out of the earth.
That's
that
modern day.
happened after the
Oh,
fact,
yeah,
but
right,
We don't
that's what
know
we're-
when that falls into this timeline.
Yeah, no, it falls after the end game.
Yeah, but like the actual story itself, like the events of the ancestral, not when the movie came out. We know they came out.
You saying
after
that
Endgame.
could have happened after the other movies we've seen?
It could, like this movie, because it does not pinpoint exactly when.
they're
in the
fucking cars
MCU.
driving in London, bro. That's fucking.
Yes, but is this?
No, I think what he's
after
saying,
all of
it-
the what's happening in the MCU, like this comes out like after what they lead up to, and then boom, oh, this event happens. There's an ancestral poking out of the ground, and this is after couple years of showing all these movies leading up to this point. We don't know where this movie falls into the timeline.
I think it's after Endgame. I'm pretty sure there's like little stuff in there that points to it being
is
after
definitely
Endgame.
after Endgame, but I think what Psycho's saying is like, even though Ant-Man and let's say
movies
like
haven't
and
mentioned it.
Doctor Strange came out later. What if like those movies timeline wise take place
Are still
Eternals?
before.
Yeah, correct.
That's possible. The Cullen Prime said some people think that the movies we have seen in Multiverse Saga take place on different Earths. And that's why there's no mention of the
That's
Celestial and the ocean.
another
That's
possibility as well, right?
But
I guess.
I mean, it's
You gotta
hard to
have
think
not
because
talked
they would have
about-
had the same Avengers. I mean, they would have had the Avengers on the different Earths too, right? So
Not
Did they
necessarily.
mention what did they mention about like Avengers or anything?
it was more questioned about
Eternals.
why didn't they step in, right?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
remember those.
It was like,
why
why
didn't
why
they do it?
didn't they act? And they were like, because they were strictly told not to, right? They were not supposed to.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, 'cause they
Oh, yeah,
were
when
not supposed to
Thanos
meddle
came.
with the events with whatever happened with Earth, even with the whole Thanos, and they could have stopped it, but they knew Thanos by snapping actually prevented the celestial from coming, whatever the actual
Yeah.
him coming out of the
Celestial,
ground.
yeah.
Because it went on the amount of people in the universe. Well, if that universe, half the population dies, he does not come to
Yeah, he can't
fruition.
come back. Yeah.
But when they undid the snap,
Their
That's
their
when-
only job was to prevent the Earth from being destroyed, so that the Celestial could hatch from the Earth. That was their only job.
It was the
anything else-
population, right? Weren't they only
Yeah.
activated by the population? I think so.
population of
It was
the
like-
universe, because that celestial is for that
Yeah.
universe.
And when the
Is it just-
snap came back,
It
when it was more
repopulated.
people, which activated the celestial.
Correct.
Yeah, it's an interesting story. I really like the story of it too, like where they're going with it. But like, what we have to see how it plays out from there. I'm hoping that it wasn't too big of a disappointment for Marvel. Like, I don't know where they saw it, like box office wise and all that kind of stuff, to where they just kind of move on from it, right?
Well,
But
I feel like even in the past they've had like Thor: Dark World, and they still like made that canon. That was terrible.
well, no, I don't mean like not make it canon. I just mean like not make a second one. I want to see
Oh,
an
yeah.
Eternals too. You know.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that might be, we might see Eternals 2 if that movie plays out a bigger role in the story.
It's got to. There's a damn celestial still sticking out of the ocean,
So,
so they got to deal with
I
that
think,
at some point.
I think once everything kind of catches up, then we could see like, oh, okay, now this all fucking makes sense, and then boom, they announce it's the Eternals
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
And
Or maybe they
that's-
even update on Disney Plus the timeline.
I mean, it'd be interesting seeing them interact and run into the like Avengers and other characters that are out there, like, and see how that whole thing play out. And they did tease at the end
Well-
also the whole
Well, half of them are dead.
the other ones that are alive, right? They also teased at the end like the other side of this saga that's
The Black
coming,
Knight.
like Black
Yeah.
Knight, and the Blade tease, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
There
And
as
then they
well.
had the other tease with Harry Styles, where he's like the
Thanos'
Starman or whatever the fuck
yeah,
his name is.
Thanos' brother. Yeah.
But the thing with the whole Black Knight and Blade 2, we already got the supernatural effect going already, kind of with Werewolf by Night.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of
Black Knight, and then Ghost Rider has
Black-
to come. They're like
Ghost Rider is going to be coming because of that, and I mean, you'll get your Dracula, your Morbius, you'll get those characters from the Marvel universe come out from this movie, and and what they've shown with
yeah,
Man,
'cause-
Yeah, I
Man
think
Thing.
part of this is the problem too, because they have
Little
so many.
thing
They're
that-
trying to like get all the the monsters, and then they're trying to get all the alien stuff. They're trying to rebuild the human side of things. They're trying to rebuild and like start building these other teams and like storylines. And I think there's too much going on right now for them. They either need
that's how
to
Secret
focus.
Wars is, though.
Yeah, I know. They either need to focus on like
That's the
one move,
problem.
like one team, and
Okay.
get that built out, or just like make these movies connect more. That way, we don't have this problem where we're like, "What the fuck are we doing here?"
And we haven't even touched the mutants aspect
Yeah.
to it. That they're chomping at the bit to get to that, right? So, next up was Spider-Man: No Way Home, and that one I really liked. No Way
Phase
Home.
4.
I mean it. Yeah, it's still fit. We've been in Phase 4. Every movie that we've talked about has been Phase 4.
Yeah, just to let
Spider-Man.
everyone know.
Yeah, Spider-Man: No
Check.
Way Home.
good movie. I wish, like, looking back at it, it was very much a fan servicey movie, which I don't really mind because I love it. I love all the different Spider-Mans for different reasons. Of course, Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man. I will keep saying that.
I don't like how it ended though. I gotta say.
How did it end?
Spoiler
Tom
alert.
Holland-
nobody knows who Spider-Man is.
Oh, yeah,
all
yeah,
that
he
kind of
forgot.
stuff. Yeah.
People forgot.
I
Tom
mean, it
Holland
was
took
cool seeing all
over
the Spider-Mans together,
Tobey's life.
right?
Yeah.
It was cool seeing all the Spider-Mans together and stuff like that.
I wish. I said this right after the movie ended. I wish that Green Goblin and Tobey Maguire had more of a moment. Like, he was a big villain in Tobey's universe, and then when he was in No Way Home, it was more so like, I don't know. They never really had a moment with each other.
It wasn't Tobey Maguire's movie, so I don't like.
I know,
wouldn't want
but
that.
like, just like even a scene, so it's just like Toby, not Toby, but Peter. It's just like something.
they had the rooftop scene, right? There's a rooftop scene, stuff like that they kind of had.
I mean, it does stab him.
Oh yeah, he did get stabbed.
Yeah, I think this is the best like kind of fan service movie that they've done. It was a good
Yeah,
movie.
people
It's
were-
just
People were
Yeah.
freaking out when this movie came out. Like it was.
I think
Yeah, people were saying that no one was being kicked by. No one was
yeah,
kicking
Mab. We had
Lizard
Mab
Man.
jumping around in
whatever.
his
That was
room.
Yeah, I was trying to get you to say that on C Money's podcast.
Oh.
You jumping
such a
around
funny show.
because you're like,
I
'cause you
I
really
still
thought
can't believe I lost that. That's horse
you
shit.
got hit by a beam.
I
Look at
I don't
this
even remember
beam.
what you said was happening. We were like, it's
You
a
just
kick.
thought you got
It was the
kicked by the
beam.
wind or
It's like-
something.
it was the blast. Yeah, the blast makes his head go towards the blast. Yes.
It was a flinch in midair. Like that's what I thought it was.
Yeah, he just flinched.
Well, like
Yeah.
They clearly just edited him out.
so for people that don't know, the trailer for Spider-Man: No Way Home, they were hiding the fact that the other Spider-Men were in the movie. So there was a shot they showed with Sandman like knocking over a building or whatever, and Spider-Man was flying through there, and or no, it was
I think it was Lizard.
It was Lizard.
It
Yeah,
was
It was
the Statue of
Lizard
Liberty
Man,
scene.
whatever. Yeah, and he was like
stand.
in the air or something, and he kind of went like that and got like knocked backwards, and they were all saying, "Oh, y'all were all right. I'll give you credit. Y'all else thought it was another Spider-Man kicking him in the face that they removed CGI wise, right?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "No, it's a building blowing up next to him. I thought it was just a flinch." Right? So I had to act it out in the room and show you guys why I thought it was a flinch. Turns out I was wrong and y'all were right, which is the craziest moment of my life, I think. I almost let out an audible shit when I was watching that movie
Yes!
at the theater.
I almost texted you. I was like, I was gonna take a picture.
As soon
be
as
like,
I saw that, I just
told
had
ya.
a smile. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I think I laughed in the theater at that scene. I was like, no one else. I was just laughing.
Yeah,
in the theater.
exactly. People are like, why is this dude laughing? I mean, long story short, this is
you
a
don't
fun
understand.
moment.
Yeah, I definitely like when that scene came up in the theater. I was definitely like chuckling a little bit.
Yeah, Kate was laughing at me.
Yeah.
After.
Yeah, that was a good movie. It was like fan service-y. I loved seeing all the Spider-Man interact with each other. Like it's like a dream come true to see all three Spider-Man. So yeah,
it's fun. It sets up the next like era Spider-Man, but the problem with that is Disney's always had an issue. Is like, are they going to continue Spider-Man? Do they have the rights to it? Like,
That's
is
the
Sony
annoying
going to
part.
And it's why I never have hope for like the next movie with Spider-Man, because I never know if Sony's going to be like, "Fuck you, we're making Spider-Man again." It's like,
and they make terrible like
Decisions?
Morbius and stuff like that. Like, I don't really
make
trust
bad
Sony with
decisions.
Spider-Man.
They make
Yeah.
that decision. And
So-
it was like it was like only they have done right is with Spider-Man, but everything else, even Venom wasn't that great. Cool,
Even Venom was kind of
But
awful.
it was
like
like-
the second Venom.
I think
Yeah.
Spider-Man, like, he still needs time to grow. Like, if he gets 3 more movies and we see him come to adult Spider-Man, like, then it's going to be the greatest Spider-Man. But right now, we still don't have, his end story yet, and
Well,
that's why it's still
the
up in the air for
problem
a lot of
I
people.
have with it is we don't even know if we're actually getting those movies with Tom
Yeah.
Holland, right? And like, I would have liked for them to set off on a better note there at the end, but instead it's like feels like a closing of a chapter potentially, but like they also
yeah.
behind the
They're gonna
scenes
tell
it
another
seems like
story.
they're going to do more with them, but like
Well, they also like left it open because he finally bought his apartment or whatever, and no one knows who he is. So
Yeah,
it kind
finally
of
get like college
Yeah.
Spider-Man. That'd be sick.
Yeah,
They
but
go
that's
from,
the-
like, high
that's
school
like
to
the thing
college.
with what Sony does. It's like, so at the end, Spider-Man kind of falls into that Tobey Maguire. He's on his own. He makes his own costumes, and he's out fighting crime. But yet here, are they gonna reset again and be like, let's have another Ben Parker moment? Yeah, and it's like,
Yeah, and his suit was pretty cool at
you-
the end.
like
I really like his suit.
there's going to be a point where it's like, okay, why are you retelling the story? We know how much different are you going to make this? Have different villains? Like, if they just progress the storyline, having Peter going
and they
through
and
the
they kind of
motions-
fucked that up though, because like Peter could have been the next Iron Man and led the Avengers, but now no one knows who the fuck he is. So it's like,
yeah. I didn't like that's
Well,
why I say I
this-
don't like how they left it at the end, right? Like
I mean, but they did actual consequences. That's what I kind of liked about it. The fact that like, oh, like there was an actual
but I don't
consequence.
like ending a movie with consequences. You know what I mean? I wanted to feel like, oh yeah, we won. Like, and instead it's like, oh, that's kind of sucks. Like,
Yeah.
and then
Well,
especially not knowing that you're getting another movie soon. It's like
I will say-
imagine that the end of like not Endgame, but what was the name of the other one? The
Infinity War.
Infinity War. Imagine the end of Infinity War, and it was like, well, that's just where we're leaving it for who knows how long.
That's what they did. And
I do
it,
think,
like,
though-
people didn't know that everyone died
Yeah, but
at
we
the
knew
end. Of,
we
like,
were we knew we were getting Endgame the following year, right? So like this is like
Yeah.
what's gonna happen with Spider-Man? We have
If they
fucking clue.
do another Spider-Man, I think it could be a good way. Like this is the thing, there's always so many fucking good ways. The next Spider-Man could be a good way to introduce the X-Men, because if Spider-Man gets a job at either like Oscorp or with Doc Ock or Lizard Whatever, like, and he starts working on some of those mutant genes, like maybe that's
That
where
could
you
be
could get
cool.
your X-Men introduction. I don't know.
Or
like
he's,
he works
he's
for
working
on the Baxter
Bugle,
building, Fantastic
Daily
Four.
Bugle.
Yeah.
And then he figures he goes on a hunt of he's hearing,
Or maybe that's
this
again,
news
maybe
scoop,
that's a good
he's hearing,
introduction. Maybe
"Oh."
the Fantastic Four, maybe they have a gene, so when they get hit by the solar flare, it activates their X-Men gene, and they make the Fantastic Four X-Men now. And then Peter Parker works for them to try to figure out what's wrong with them as an intern or whatever. And then
They
he's
have
like,
to introduce them somehow.
yeah,
And I mean that's the movie that's supposed to come out within this phase. Fantastic Four, right? Within a
Yeah, that's gonna be a big moment. So I think so far we have spent a lot of time on each movie. Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals, and Spider-Man. That's not bad, right?
pretty good when
we
we look back at it. Yeah.
we're missing
that's the
Doctor
next one.
Strange Multiverse.
We haven't gotten to that yet.
Oh, I thought you were talking about this is what phase 4.
No,
Just for
yeah.
this phase.
Yeah, just what we've gotten to so far. Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals,
Yeah,
Spider-Man,
the next
No
few
Way Home.
movies should go pretty quick.
Yeah, 3.
So yeah, there's 3 more coming. The next up is Doctor Strange and the Multiverse.
Biggest
of Madness.
letdown they've ever done.
I feel like they were too
What a
afraid to go
shitty!
full
What a
forward.
shitty way to handle the multiverse. Straight garbage. You ruined Doctor Strange.
I loved this movie. I really did.
Of two opposing.
Yeah,
opinions. Okay,
absolutely-
Jasper, why did
absolutely
you
love
hate it,
this
man?
movie.
Why'd you love it?
This is maybe like my second favorite movie of Phase 4 after Shang-Chi.
Yeah, Multiverse like opened up the whole, like it like expanded. Like we don't know what.
Oh
what
yeah, it's the
happened.
fucking multiverse, but we're gonna go to one other fucking multiverse. Oh, it's the multiverse of madness where you can go to fucking so many places. We go to one fucking place.
They went through
What are
a
you
bunch
talking about?
of them. They just like
They went
Oh
through
yeah, you got
75.
1 second of fucking splash, fucking spaghetti land and fucking underwater land or where the fuck. Oh, that's so cool.
I think you're a little outraged right now, Jasper. You just need to calm down. Okay.
They did do kind of Captain Britain wrong. Is that her name?
Carter,
Captain Carter.
Agent Carter.
Captain Carter.
Agent-
Isn't her name like
Captain Britain? Yeah.
Yeah,
when-
Captain Britain.
that's
Oh,
the name,
I-
right? Captain Britain.
Oh, that
Yeah.
scene. Yeah.
I thought you were talking about American Child.
I thought
Yeah.
that scene was fucking hilarious, but I agree it was like that whole team there. You know, Mr. Fantastic, Captain Britain. You had the
Black Bolt or whatever.
Black Bolt.
and,
Who was
Professor
the other one?
X.
Yeah. That was crazy seeing that because it kind of like, in my opinion, I also didn't like that scene because like it diminished the power of all of those people, right? Who
Those are
supposed to-
powerful people.
Right.
Like
Well,
the
yeah, they're
frickin'
that powerful, but then it just shows a black.
I'm just saying, I thought fucking Spider-Man was a better multiverse movie than this. Like,
Scarlet Witch is that much stronger. That's what they were trying to depict.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
get
but
that,
how
but
they should have
coulda had
showed
a
that-
better fight at it, you know.
Yeah,
but
like because people who don't know these characters, Psycho, like they don't know like that the guy who can't speak whatever is so freaking powerful. They don't know he's supposed to be like a top tier like hero in terms of power. Like he can just speak and people are dead. Like they'll never know that because they're like, oh, he just died in like 5 seconds.
Well, they showed it in the scene, so I think that's where they kind of like emphasize that they need
Black
all
Bolt.
need again. You know, they needed like their own like movie. They had the TV show, but the TV show wasn't that great.
Yeah, just to see Professor X like that, and like it was. I get what you're saying. Like they're just trying to really like show how powerful she is, right? But at the
And
same
she is
time,
powerful.
all of
She's
these other characters are also elite, powerful
Yes.
characters as well. So it was kind of like diminishing to them as like a disrespect of the scene or whatever for those characters. But they were trying to play it up because they were like expendable characters because they were just on another Earth,
It was
right?
It
So
was a different multiverse.
yeah,
Earth,
but I would like to see a bigger, better fight from them.
we could, but not from this movie. It just didn't happen.
That's what I'm saying. It would be nice if it happened.
We will. I know with the Fantastic Four, we'll get that. We'll get the whole Reed Richard and everything. We'll get that because Agnes Hart. Oh my god.
Agatha Harkness.
Agatha Harkness. Jesus Christ.
Agatha.
She is pretty much like the babysitter of Reed Richards and Sue Storm with the little is it Ben Richard or
Yeah, he's probably. I think he's the most powerful
He's-
Marvel character in
Correct.
the
so
universe.
that's all playing a thing. At least people that know the comics a little bit, but that's the
See,
thing that this could just
for
there's
me,
so
like
many things that could go with this.
for me, this movie was like the Last Jedi of Star Wars, where it had the best like scenes in it, like visually, but it's just nothing fucking mattered.
Well, because she was fucking OP. She was OP, and I think right now she's in hell with Morpheus. That's just me.
It left a lot of questions there at the end, right? As just like No Way Home did.
Mephisto,
Like,
sorry.
yeah, this left a lot of questions at the end. It was freaking Doctor Strange is different now, also, right? You have all this other stuff go on. I liked the arc for Scarlet Witch in this movie. That was my best thing. I felt like this was more Scarlet Witch's movie than it was Doctor Strange's, right? But I think it was a good story overall. But the some of the visuals were like played up a little much just for the sake of it, right? Like oh, look what we can do with cool cinematography and stuff, like the music note scene and stuff like that. I kind of felt that was corny. Like, hey, let's actually take a moment here to fight with music notes, and this, like, oh, come on, they're probably not gonna actually do that, you know? Like, it kind of takes you out and realize they're just doing it for the fun of the scene instead of the actual impact of it, right? So there was aspects like that I didn't like. I like the overall story. I like what happened with Scarlet Witch. I think that it's interesting and at least questions. I don't think we're done with her for sure as well, and definitely not with Doctor Strange. So, and then America Chavez was introduced in this as well, and she's interesting, but that's all we know right now.
Because the only thing she did in the movie was fucking run away. Amazing.
Yeah, except at the end, and she like figured out how to control her power or whatever, which could come into play later on.
I just feel like with this movie, like, I liked it. I think Marvel, though, I feel like they were too afraid of it being full-on horror, which is what it should have been. Like, they brought in Sam Raimi because they're like, oh, you could really amp up the horror. They had another director who's like known for horror movies and stuff, but they weren't letting him go super dark. And then with Sam, they're like, oh, you could kind of go dark. I feel like if you guys read the Doctor Strange books, they are kind of demented and dark and kind of crazy. They had sliver of those moments in this movie. They had like, oh, there's Sam Raimi, like the way he does like certain eye shots, the way like how she came out of the mirrors and stuff like that. Like, that was sick. Like, there's moments in there, like Jasper was saying, like there's definitely like scenes that are like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Zombie Strange was awesome. Zombie Doctor Strange was like really cool.
Yeah. I just wish, in terms of like, there's certain things you could have left out, like the girl. I don't think she needs to be in this movie.
America Chavez. The
Chavez.
only reason I think she is because they needed a reason that they could go between the multiverses and stuff, and then I think they're setting her up with the end. The way this ended, I feel like she's going to be a key part at getting the teams together in this saga to help get everybody, because she's the only one that can do that, right? She can go wherever the hell she wants. Now she knows how to control it, which they showed at the end. That was her figuring that out. Like, she's going to be a key part of the team in the future of like, we need this person. We need to go do this. right? To help
Probably in Secret Wars.
piece everything together. So I think she's gonna play a focal point with the future.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but I think maybe she might be a key to Secret Wars because Secret Wars all takes place not on Earth, it takes place on a whole other planet. And you have the X-Men in Secret Wars, you have the Avengers in Secret Wars, you have the Defenders, you have Spider-Man, Daredevil. Literally everybody is supposed to be in Secret Wars.
Yeah.
So maybe like how they get to the other planet is her. That's a decent point.
We have 2 more movies in this saga in this phase.
Yeah, the next one's like again kind of like
yeah. Thor: Love and Thunder.
Oh, that was the worst one. That was worse than Doctor Strange. I don't know what did. Now that I remember that movie, Jasper, no. There's no way Doctor Strange was worse than Thor: Love and Thunder.
For me it's a entertaining movie just to watch, but it doesn't matter to anything whatsoever.
Yeah, again, they just ruined the villain.
I
Fucking
will
gore.
say,
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
I did love.
Yeah,
see, for me, I loved Christian Bale in this movie. Like, I loved his character. Like, he was.
But he could have did more.
The way it ended though was not great. But the way, like, his character, villain, like, I wish that he would have played a bigger part in more movies going forward. I think that would have been cool, right?
He should have been like an overarching like Thor villain.
Over like a
instead of just a one movie. Yeah.
Like a Loki was originally, kind of, right? Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Because he was bad. I thought he was kind of badass. Like the way he portrayed the character and stuff. I really liked it. But it was short lived.
God killer. Yeah, they should have not killed him off.
But maybe there's another one out there, right? There's a multiverse, so who knows? Maybe they're gonna introduce all these different villains, and at the end, the Secret Wars are gonna show all up again together, like, or some shit. I don't know.
This just made me not want Taika to ever do another Thor. Just crazy because I really like
Ragnarok was one of the best movies, like, and
yeah. But after just seeing this one, I'm like, okay, I thought you understood Thor from Ragnarok, but now I'm thinking
he just wants to make it funny and dumb jokes in it. Which
Russell Crowe's Zeus was fucking hilarious though.
Yeah.
The way he came down off the stairs with his little skirt and stuff, it was fucking great.
We're just having an orgy.
It was so funny, dude. But they also introduced Hercules at the end as well, who's going to supposedly play a factor in the future movie.
And they also introduced the new like Supergirl, like Thor child thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about her.
Yeah, is she gonna grow up, or is she gonna be a little kid?
Is she gonna grow up?
I don't. You know what I mean? Like in the future movies. Here's the thing. I get there's superpower. This is not the first superpower kid. Now we got. There's another one too. Like we got from.
She's supposed to be in the Young Avengers. Yeah, she was one of the members of the Young Avengers.
Yeah, they're gonna put all those kids in like one big group.
Guardians of the Galaxy also introduced one of these kids, right? So like.
You got Thulk's son too.
Yeah, so here's the thing. I like introducing young characters and stuff like this, but I don't really want to go watch a superhero movie and watch like a 6-year-old. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping maybe they advance the timeline and they're at least teenagers or something,
No, they're not.
So they're gonna have like a 7-year-old fighting like all
the Young Avengers.
Did you watch Stranger Things? You have 4 kids running the fucking movie or the show the entire time.
What?
It could be
Stranger Things.
No, that's different. Yeah, I love Stranger Things, but
here's the thing, Mav. They're setting up different teams, right? They're gonna have the Young Avengers. They're gonna have
the Dark
Defenders.
Yeah, but so who's gonna be in the Young Avengers? It's gonna be it's gonna be Thor's daughter, Love, right?
Yeah.
So it's gonna be Love. It's gonna be the Guardians of the Galaxy, like. Girl that ran around in circles around the fucking hamster wheel. It's gonna be her.
Miss Marvel.
Yeah, probably Spider-Man, maybe.
But see, like here's the thing. Like, are you gonna have like these like Spider-Man's gonna be like 18, 19, 20 in these movies?
Yeah, Spider-Man's just
you got
like
Miss Marvel's a teenager. Also, They're gonna
He's
really
technically in the Young
are
Avengers,
they
so
gonna
that's why
really
it's a
team
thing.
up
I
with
don't
the
know.
fucking like 8-year-old? Let's go fight crime together. I'd see Young Avengers, but
The
Young
8-year-old Let's Fight Crime Together is fucking stronger than Spider-Man.
Yeah, but like
she got laser eyes.
I would hope that maybe they advance the time with these teenagers a little bit or something. I don't know. I don't want to
See,
watch Powerpuff Girls the movie. Like I'm just
Yeah, that'd be
It could
fantastic.
be cool. It
No.
could be cool.
They'll
You
probably
just gotta
stick
get
I
through.
think
Just think about all the.
They'll stick around with Thor for another movie, and then they may they'll team up at the end, like Secret Wars and stuff. And
yeah.
have,
I mean,
they'll have that shot where you have like the 5 kids fucking punch whoever the bad guy is, and be like, "Yeah, go get them, kids."
We killed King.
the thing is with the whole
Oh,
the
yeah.
God Butcher.
Alvin says Isaiah Bradley's grandson too. That's like he was the super soldier guy from the Captain is a
Are you talking
Captain
about
America and the Winter Soldier or whatever. Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be a Dark Avengers though.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Forgot about him. He's in.
Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of the other Captain America. Okay, yeah. I was thinking of the Captain America. dude.
Isaiah Bradley
know
was
his
like
name.
the black guy that was a super soldier
Yeah.
from like the
other dude that they experimented
was
on.
it World War II era
Yeah.
or Vietnam or something? I can't remember.
Vietnam, I think.
Vietnam. Yeah. So they had super soldier, and then like he was all disgruntled and stuff because obviously like he was treated like shit afterwards and stuff.
Oh, he's in the Secret Avengers. There's so many different Avengers, I forget sometimes.
Yeah.
right.
But he's also in the Young Avengers, so yeah. He
Isaiah
might be in
Bradley's grandson. What's Isaiah
Yeah.
Bradley's grandson's name?
there. Eli
Isaiah
Bradley.
Bradley's grandson.
Eli Bradley. So we got Eli Bradley. We got Love. We got Hamster Girl. And
Is
so that's-
Squirrel Girl gonna be a thing?
I hope not.
She's like really powerful.
Mm.
Well, don't forget, Scarlet Witch's 2 kids. Once she
Oh,
gets
yeah.
them
Yeah.
from
Well, they're
Morph-
dead, and
Mephisto. Yeah, but
Right.
she's in Mephisto's universe. That's the Red Flash at the end of the
Oh,
movie.
yeah,
So that's where I think she's at, and because that's like the 2 living soul. It's the 2 soul stones from Mephisto. So I think
Bishop.
she wants him back, and he like manipulates her, and I think that's how we get her as the villain, setting up everything. But the whole thing with like the whole going with back to Thor, Love and Thunder, the thing with like the God Butcher, he had the Necro Sword. Okay, the Necro Sword was made from Null. Null introduced. He made the first symbiotes. So it's like this whole like full circle with the symbiotes, how that gets turned into, how they come about. I think we'll possibly see Null, or if they don't do nothing with this whole timeline anymore, or they don't do shit with the Necro Sword, because when God the Butcher was trying to kill all the gods, he did. He did. But in this movie, he killed a couple that they talked about, and that was like the extent. I mean, he was like on a fucking rampage in the comics, and then in the movie, he was just like, "Oh yeah,
I'm just gonna sit in this fucking black and white land and do nothing. Come to me."
Yeah.
I do feel like
that was like the biggest disappointment for me.
I feel like it's hard for them with movies to do everything they do in the comics because
he should have went into that place where they fucking met Zeus, and he should have killed every single one of those motherfuckers around that room.
That would have been badass scene.
Yeah, they should have did that.
Everyone in the room, Oh, that would have been crazy, dude. They should have
Because
done
then
that.
Zeus.
Thor
Like,
was like, see, I told you, and here he is, laying
And
havoc.
Zeus is like, we're not concerned with him. He doesn't have the key or whatever. And then he just shows up and is like, fuck you. And that'd have been crazy. Next,
but yes, once they mentioned Kate Bishop, sorry, that's the last thing.
Yeah.
But like we're starting to list all the Young Avengers, and now I'm kind of seeing how they're gonna set them up. If they have like Kate Bishop, they have Eli whatever his name was.
I think
Um,
some of those, like the one Captain America dude that, like, because the what's her name is recruiting a bunch of those people for the Dark Avengers. So I
For
think
Dark
Kate
Avengers,
Bishop is probably going to go up against like the Dark Avengers. Like, yeah,
well,
she's
that
gonna
would
be
be kind of cool. I
so
could see
like
that.
you'll have like some of those heroes that are like a little older than kids, like go up against the Dark Avengers, and the Dark Avengers go up against them to have kind of like a mini Civil War or something.
Yeah, like Dark Avengers versus the
Yeah.
Young Avengers. Yeah,
So
see,
Dark
they could do stuff.
Avengers, it would be made up of who exactly?
Yelena.
Yelena, the one Captain America dude that no one
So
liked.
this is Evil Elaine's team, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Yelena, not Captain America,
That lame Captain America guy.
people
then
that are
the
being manipulated.
Ironheart would probably be with Kate Bishop to go up against them.
I forgot about Ironheart.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they might change some stuff, but you get like technically in the Dark Avengers had like Venom and stuff, but they're probably not gonna do that. So I don't know who's gonna be.
Next movie though, it was Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
I really like that movie.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of boring.
I
You
got
think
to
Eternals
say,
was boring? I fell asleep.
I think the story was impactful when it came to Black Panther, and especially at the ending where they introduced like what the we're talking spoilers here and shit, everybody. When they introduced
movie was like 6 months old.
his son, right? But like, and I did like the villains. I liked the whole arc there. I felt like they used this movie as an excuse to introduce like a couple of new characters that are kind of like not gonna be Ironheart and what did the other girl, like the Dora Milaje lady, she turned into something too.
Oh yeah, she became like
she
weird,
donned a suit, a
tentacle
special
things.
suit and stuff too, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
there
I
was
love
like,
Namor.
That's
there's like
Ironheart.
no, that Ironheart was the Captain America.
No.
I mean the Iron Man suit.
Fuck, what was her stupid
She's
name?
talking about
She had some stupid name. I forgot what it was.
She
It
had
was like
the suit.
Oh, you
that
talking
she-
about? Was it Okea?
yeah, they gave her some stupid like Iron Man looking suit. I forgot.
Yeah.
They called her something.
Is it's a character in the comics. I forgot her name.
Yeah,
Okay,
Namor was badass. Okoye is her name, right?
Okoye.
Right, but her suit, I don't remember what that was called. It was like a prestigious like suit to wear as like you're like on a mission type suit or whatever. I like they don't give it out hardly ever. Or something like that. I can't remember. Was it
Midnight Angels?
Midnight Angels, yeah. Midnight Angels.
I got yeah.
And then you had Ironheart, which was like this random girl that's a genius, right?
Okay. I had a problem. My biggest problem was actually Ironheart. She felt like Ray. And where
too
he
badass
has no
immediately.
faults. All of a sudden, I know how to do everything, and I have no faults whatsoever, and I'm just perfect. Yeah, I
Welcome
hated
to
that.
New Disney.
Yeah, but for the most part, I loved a lot what was in the movie. Like, I loved freaking Namor. I thought he was awesome. I liked seeing their world, the underwater city and stuff, compared to like Wakanda and I don't know. There's like a lot I liked about the movie.
I love those aspects too, right? Yeah. I don't feel like the ending with the fighting and all that stuff really paid off, right?
Yeah, it was like boring because then they made peace, and it's like I feel like this movie, like I understand like why they did it, but I feel like more of it was just like, hey, remember Chadwick Boseman? He died. Let's just like celebrate his death or whatever. Like I get that, but it's like you're still making a movie, and it's like, I don't know.
They didn't really make peace,
Yeah.
but they made peace.
Yeah,
because
at the end, right? Namor's pretty much using them or whatever. Is what it comes across, right? So, but he's a in the comics, because I'm not super familiar with Namor, right? In the comics, is he middle ground?
He's kind of a villain.
Is he?
He's a
He
villain.
was one of the
sometimes.
first mutants too.
Because I always kind of think of
Yeah.
him as like their version of Aquaman, and Aquaman's a hero, right?
He's not a hero.
Okay.
He's like he basically he only cares about his people. So
So-
whatever he'll do to
Is it
You
kind of
get,
like an
like-
anti-hero or villain?
yeah. Sometimes he's a villain.
It's just
Um,
whatever he does, whatever to benefit his people.
Scarlet
Like,
Witch
Yeah.
style sometimes, like will
Yeah.
go off the deep end, but sometimes help out when it benefits him.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
He's not I wouldn't call him a hero because he does some really shady stuff in the comics. But at the end, all he cares about is his people, so he will screw over whoever he needs to.
And I got that from the movie. I just don't know the precedent of comics for Namor, right?
Yeah.
So, right on. And Colin Prime says Namor has been an Avenger before.
I mean, who hasn't?
Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah, he's been an Avenger. He also got kicked out of the Avengers. But so has like the Hulk, and Iron Man got kicked out the Avengers for drinking too much. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's been a fucking Avenger at the end of the day.
Right.
Yeah.
So overall though, like, do you think the Black Panther movie had the amount of impact that you think it should have as far as like the saga goes?
This was just like another. This movie could have been a standard movie, to be honest. It had no
Like,
impact on the greater.
Shuri is now Black Panther, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the T'Challa's son, it was Ennis.
is he
was
going to be a
in the
young
movie.
Avenger?
He could be.
Are they going to give him the Purple Heart shit and turn him into this little badass little Black Panther kid?
No.
I guess if Shuri steps down.
Sure.
But
I
she
think
eventually will have to.
Shuri would probably be one of the young Avengers or something. And
Yeah.
she's just gonna like maybe put like a doppelganger in her place to be like, look, she's ruling the kingdom or whatever, but actually she's out just fucking shit up with the young Avengers.
Right.
Yeah, we'll see. To me, like in terms of the impact of the MCU, I mean, it shows Namor in his world, and that could have repercussions in other places. But
Yeah.
I don't know if there was a huge thing. I don't know.
Sure,
I
it's-
didn't really like Ironheart, but I liked everybody else.
Shuri's really interesting because like she's kind of like Iron Man and Black Panther in one, because she makes technology and suits and shit for people like really fast.
Mhm.
And like she can like, oh hey, look, Spider-Man, I made you a new suit. Look, everybody, I made you a new suit. Oh, you're all of a sudden 10 times more badass, but also I'm a badass because I'm the fucking Black Panther now. Hey, check it out, I'm both. Right? So you have that person, like Iron Man's not there anymore. Right? So you have that person now that fills that role of creating stuff for people, because sure, that's what she does. That's what she did in Wakanda and stuff, and she did it in this movie too, right? So, because she created the Ironheart suit, didn't she?
The Ironheart created the Ironheart suit. Then Ironheart made a new suit with her technology, vibranium, and all that stuff.
Right. Okay. Using the stuff there.
Yeah.
And then yeah, you're right. Okay.
And Nate Dogg said, "Are we ever gonna get a solo Hulk movie? Do they own the rights?
They
to the
got
Hulk?
the rights officially now. Finally.
Hulk's already on his way out. They're not gonna fucking do a Hulk movie.
They screwed up the Hulk, man.
We'll
They
get
really
Grey
did.
Hulk.
They did what they could at the time, I feel like, with the rights that they had, but like
Yeah.
I think they wanted to do different stuff, but I think they got the rights for a reason though. Like I don't think they're just going to throw it away.
Yeah, you get Hulk's son.
No,
Scar.
I mean, imagine a variant of the Hulk comes through or whatever, and it's like
That Grey Hulk.
Yeah.
That's so
I mean-
like lame though. You have to like
You're
rely on-
lame, Jasper. Just kidding.
Okay, it's so lame that you have to rely on like fucking variants to get like
The one
the better
that we want.
version of the fucking superhero that everyone's asking for. Like,
I
just
mean-
fucking do that, but with the main dude.
But,
Don't
but
fucking-
to go back,
But
like,
great.
the Hulk had his moments in the original like Avengers movies and stuff, like the old ones,
Yeah.
right? So he was,
And
that
then they made fun of
character.
that Hulk. And
No, I'm just talking about like fucking Hulk can destroy fucking planets, that kind of shit.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah, they're
I-
not gonna do Planet Hulk.
Like that's
The-
what the Hulk I wanted to see, because technically, like Hulk is such a strong
He's
character.
one of the strongest fucking
He's
characters.
one of the strongest,
and
I
then
feel
like they immediately made him Smart Hulk. It's like, why are we fucking doing Smart Hulk now?
yeah,
So you can figure out the
like it would be
universe,
nice to.
multiverse.
It would have been nice to see like Smart Hulk way down the
Yeah.
line, like basically build up to that, because Hulk is supposed to be a character like the more you hurt the Hulk, the stronger he gets, and like he's supposed to be like this force of nature that the Avengers like were scared of him, and which they did in the first few movies.
That's
I feel
why
like
Iron Man made Hulkbuster and stuff, is because
yeah,
like
because they were scared. Like he had to make a protocol in case the Hulk goes crazy. But I just feel like
Did.
Yeah, and Loki like
He did,
manipulating
but-
them all on that ship to like create the situation where the Hulk goes. You know?
still though, the Hulk's power is like 1% of what we've seen in the movies. Like he's like so much stronger than what we've seen in the movies, and it's like, why
Yeah.
are we not getting any of that?
Because he would just ruin the movie by destroying everything. Like, like there'd be no
Yeah.
point in having a movie anymore. Like, I get it, I get it, but they're trying to make him part of a saga and a
He's
team
fucking
and
nerf,
stuff.
bro. Like
Yeah,
Yeah,
they-
they can't have
release
a
release a
destroying
broken
Hulk.
version for 30 minutes, please.
yeah, I get
we
that.
want
Yeah,
OP Hulk.
I think maybe they could do a standalone thing in the future. Like, I'm hoping
That's
so.
what I said.
Right.
Focus.
Yeah,
active.
Hulk versus Wolverine. Focus Active said that, and that was a great comic and movie. So maybe they build up to that, and they could
Yep.
do it.
Well, that was
Or if someone
Hulk-
else says they killed
Hulk
the Hulk
81.
son.
Hulk
they-
81.
Yep.
we're catching
If
up.
they kill
Guys.
son, then
That was
awesome.
the end of Phase 4. So
All right.
Movie wise, yeah.
yeah, I will say though, to touch, I don't feel like Black Panther had as big of an impact as I was expecting that
No.
movie to have for the saga,
It didn't. Yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
we'll see where it goes. Maybe there's stuff there that will. Come
But
to
have you
fruition
noticed
later.
a trend though, Mav? So in season 4 or phase 4, you kind of got like, so what was it? So Eternals, Thor, and Black Panther kind of not doing anything of what that, what this timeline, what they're leading up to.
Well, there's like every movie in here you could say that about, because like
Yeah.
every single movie they didn't ever touch on again yet, so I don't know what the hell they're leading up to right now. I mean, King the Conqueror's arc, but I do feel like he's back in play. Jonathan Majors is, right, because he's been vindicated with his charges against him and stuff like that, as well as the
This part Disney didn't say
yeah.
a word. They were just
yeah,
like,
Well,
they
they-
let it
wait.
play. They let it play out,
Hoping.
right? And it turned.
I mean,
I mean,
Hey,
if someone,
things are so good.
if you could shit on a bed, I mean, fucking look at DC. Every one of their heroes are fucking have some controversy.
know.
Fucking,
but as far as him goes, like it came out that like he was innocent and all that kind of stuff. So, and then also he was even filmed breaking up a fight recently. That's a whole separate thing that
Yeah, I saw
happened.
he's
It's
breaking up a
interesting.
high school fight.
Yeah, it's just breaking up a fight. So I feel like Jonathan Majors' arc is potentially vindicated here as King, right? So there's less concern there. But we're gonna see where that goes. That's the
'Cause that
ultimate
would've been
arc.
bad.
But the only movie here that really touched on that was
Ant-Man?
which that wasn't in Phase 4 at all. None of the Phase 4 movies touched on that at all, right? Ant-Man
Loki is
was
the only thing.
yeah. So Phase 5 movie was Ant-Man.
Oh,
And
what was Black Panther the last phase?
that's the last
Yeah.
of the Phase 4.
Movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Start of Phase 5 was Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. This was my honestly biggest letdown of all the movies for me.
More than Thor?
Yes, because because I had higher hopes for this than I did ever Thor: Love and Thunder. I kind of knew what Thor: Love and Thunder was probably going to be, right? But this I didn't like the whole like stupid planet shit that they were on the whole time. It felt like they were trying to rip off Star Wars and stuff, like with like the
I feel like they're ripping
about
off
Ant-Man?
Spy
Yeah.
Kids.
They were
did
on
you know
that
there's a
planet.
Spy Kids movie that just came out on Netflix 3-bit? I
Yeah.
literally saw a trailer for that the other day. I was like, what the fuck?
that tripped
But
me
they
out
weren't
too.
on a
Yeah.
planet though. That's the thing.
Wherever,
Where?
sorry, in the not the planet, but
Oh,
whatever,
yeah.
in the
They were
in
quantum
the
realm.
quantum realm,
Quantum realm.
whatever, yeah, whatever. There's all these like creatures. It's like they were creating like the bar scenes from Star Wars with all the different like stupid, creatures
Organisms.
and stuff. And like they had a little party around the thing, and like there was just a lot of stupid in the movie. Like I feel like
It was the best Ant-Man movie though.
oh god, no, it wasn't.
Yes.
No, it wasn't. Oh man.
Yes, it was.
No,
I
it
can't
wasn't.
remember the second Ant-Man.
What are you talking
The second
about?
Ant-Man was fucking trash because it had that fucking like was it Ghost or Echo or whatever the
Yeah.
fucking bad guy was, and it's
Ghost.
like
The
Ghost.
first,
I like the first
the
one.
first Ant-Man movie is fantastic.
that was still fucking lame.
Yeah, I mean, this had like was a grander scale thing. Like it had a lot of that kind of stuff, but
This
it
had
also
a
This
lot
is
of
the only
impact
movie that
of-
we've had that's actually had a
Impact.
callback to the setup of what we're doing.
yeah, I agree with
Exactly.
that, but that was disappointing to me as well. Like
They should
how
have.
that
They
played
should have
out.
killed Ant. They should have killed Ant-Man.
Ant-Man alone already beat that motherfucker. Like at one point, like really, I'm just saying, like
Yeah,
they-
but
in the
that-
original script, he died. They should have kept that.
The point of this was to say this is just a baby king. The fucking real threat's still coming, bro.
Yeah, he was saying like, "There's more
I
of
get
me."
that, but it kind of like diminished the value of that villain for me. Like
Wow.
Yeah, they should have killed Ant-Man
Secret
in this movie.
Wars.
That would have
Well,
definitely.
The thing is, with the whole Secret Wars thing, King ain't shit. That's all.
right,
you
but
know?
we haven't even had the big. If this was supposed to be the big payoff of like the first villain of like setting that up, right? Like I feel like it was a little bit of a letdown for me. Overall, like I love Paul Rudd. He was great. You have his daughter also, who's probably gonna be a Young Avengers now as well, or some shit. Like,
They recast her. She looks different.
Yeah, she's been a different actor every time.
yeah, because she's older now.
Oh,
So, yeah, they aged her, right?
but they had a aged up one in Endgame.
yeah,
They replaced her.
Oh,
had
they.
to replace her.
Oh, maybe I don't know. I forgot about her in the
But
game.
it's
I
been
feel like
even
there's three
further.
different ones.
Well, it's been
Yeah.
further, so they got a new,
Yeah.
different act, right?
Oh,
But
She's
this
kind of like the Snow White actress, so they kind of got to get rid of her.
So this actress is probably going to play a big role going forward with some of this stuff.
I'm mad. If I directed this movie, I would have been like, kill Ant-Man. Which was originally in the script. I think Marvel was just scared to kill him off in case they needed it. But I feel like you can kill off Ant-Man and have the girl over. Like if you're king this threat that everyone's supposed to be afraid of, you can't have him lose. Like,
Well, this
yeah, Ant-Man got
variant
beat
lost.
up. Huh?
This variant lost.
Yeah, like you're supposed to be like if all
That's
the
the
Avengers
thing.
is supposed to face King, if all the X-Men is supposed to face King, you have all these people, then he loses against one person, like Ant-Man, like bro.
Well, that's the thing. It's like this king was not.
I know he's not the main king, but still. You're supposed to be afraid of the kings.
Yeah,
This king
but
was
it-
kind of nerfed though because he didn't have the access to like the
His
timeline and
powers.
stuff. Yeah,
he didn't have
like
his powers yet, so that's why he was not there as like the other kings are. Like the other kings are a whole different level than what this king was. So I think that's where they were kind of showing like before, like him getting his powers. This is how this king is. But once he gets his powers,
See, but they were setting
And
it
I
up in the story like he was the king to be worried about. That's why he was cast aside by all the other kings and stuff, right? Like, so like he was like not.
unless he was the weak
they were all
and-
afraid of him, is what basically the
yeah,
story
they
led up to.
they were gonna fuck up. He was gonna fuck up everyone's timeline, and the other kings didn't want that, so they had to stop him.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
And
what
but
it was set it
all
up.
the-
say all that.
all the kings are still like
Yeah, I'm just,
power level the same. So it's
Yeah.
like if the other kings want to be super fucking badass and go kill all the worlds, they can do that. It's just they realize that it's more important to protect the timeline to keep people from intervening with them because they know there's larger stuff out there than just them.
right.
Yeah. I say all that, and my favorite part of the movie was actually King. It's just funny. Like I say, like I wish King. He was actually my favorite part of the entire movie. Like his performance as King and stuff.
He's a great actor.
He's great. So I'm not worried about him as a villain. I'm just wondering how they're gonna do it moving forward, making him a threat. Because I'm just comparing it to like Thanos, right? When we first got Thanos and his build up was this insane, and we were just scared of Thanos, and like he won like most of the fights until the very end of Endgame. So like
you said, like I forget about exact. So it ended with him with Ant-Man. Spoilers, getting trapped in the quantum realm, right?
No, he came back.
Did he?
Yeah.
Because I remember
when it ends, the ending scene is
Yes,
him
trapped
going
there.
back into the coffee shop and in the coffee shop being like, "You're not Spider-Man. You gotta pay us $5.40 for the coffee or whatever. You liar!"
right.
Yeah.
Did it ever show him getting back or how he got back?
He beat King and walked through the portal.
Yeah.
Because I think Wasp came back through to get him or some shit. I don't remember.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I remember,
He
like he
closed it.
sacrificed himself or whatever. I just can't remember what happened after that. Okay. So,
Or maybe through like the fucking mini thing or the big thing, like the little pucks that make you big and small. He threw a bunch of those at King or some shit. I don't remember.
Yeah, and then he shrunk or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it. Did he ever escape? Anybody in chat know if he actually escaped? I can't.
Ant-Man for sure got out. I know that.
He did?
I have to watch it again just to see the ending because I don't remember. I remember,
I remember all the kings at the end, like
Yeah.
I remember that. That was pretty cool. I actually like that.
Yeah. That was cool. So that was the start of Phase 5. Then one of my favorite movies I've seen in years for a Marvel is Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Was the next one. But it honestly has no impact whatsoever really on anything going on in any of
It's
these.
a good wrap-up movie for Guardians.
Yeah. If you love the Guardians, it was great for that, right? As opposed to everything else, not necessarily really mattered too much, but like for the Guardians, it was amazing. I felt like it was Guardians 1, 2, 3, this was a culmination for that, and it ended that well for me, right?
It was weird. To me, I didn't like Guardians 3.
You didn't like Guardians 3?
I don't know.
Fucking
I don't know
love
why.
Guardians 3.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna love it because I my favorite's still number 2. I watched the heck out of number 2, every single day. I don't know. It just didn't do it for me. I don't know. I was expecting to really love Guardians 3. I couldn't do it. I don't know why.
Yeah, going back to Ant-Man for a minute, because at the end, it's like he also gets out and he's like, he's got to warn everyone. He's like, King is coming.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Wait, Ant-Man. Oh yeah. He was like really scared. Like,
yeah, he's like, because he didn't want to tell his family or whatever. He's like debating, like, do I tell people? Because like he doesn't want to tell like people close to him to get them worried. So he's like, I got to tell like someone, but I don't know who to tell. So he's like, shit, how do I deal with this? He's like having like a mental breakdown.
Do you remember what he did at the end? Like who he ended up telling or what he was going to do?
I can't.
I don't remember if he told anyone, but I know that like that's his like dilemma going. He's like, King's coming.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah.
What the heck? Why can't we remember what happened at the very end?
I don't know. It's weird. I usually remember these end scenes really well, and for some reason I can't remember this one.
I just remember there was a portal he was fighting, and then he was like, I don't have to win, I just have to lose, or something like that.
Yeah.
And then it was like, you're like, no. I just can't remember what happens after that.
Right. Okay.
Crazy.
Interesting.
But
All right.
yeah, Guardians 3, I don't know. I didn't like as much, but it was still like, it was a good movie. I don't know. And I wasn't feeling it compared to the other Guardians.
Interesting thing at the end of Guardians 3, like it said like Star-Lord will return, right? So they're not done with Star-Lord. They're not done with Chris Pratt and Star-Lord's character. I wonder what that means for the rest of.
He won't be in Guardians, though.
No, because the Guardians are now a different team, right?
Unless if he takes like leadership role for like one of the other teams, like Young Avengers or something, maybe he's like the leader for that.
That's what happened in the comics. He like the Guardians constantly changes teams, so I was surprised it's been this team for this long actually. And Rocket Raccoon is the leader of the new Guardians. So
I think what they're gonna do with Star-Lord is he's on Earth now, right?
He's gonna
And
go fuck someone, have a kid, and the kid's gonna be on the Avengers.
well, no, besides that, he's gonna be like on Earth or whatever, and there's gonna be the Earth level threat events type stuff. So he's gonna become more of that like, Earth type protector guy instead of like
Stay
the
on
space
Earth.
guy. Yeah, like more of like, something compels him because of what's happening at home, right? So
Or it's either that, or I kind of see it as maybe he doesn't want to, like, he misses the action. Like, eventually he'll miss the action, be like, I want to do something, and then he
Right.
kind
That's
of
where Secret Wars
go-
comes in. They go on a whole other planet.
that's it for phase 4 and phase 5 so far. A bunch of loose threads, right? A whole lot of loose threads. Some culminations. I feel like, there was a lot of like those movies that kind of culminated characters. Black Widow, they gave her solo movie. They did Spider-Man No Way Home, kind of in a way was kind of a semi-culmination. You had your send-off for Chadwick Boseman for Black Panther, right?
Mhm.
You had a bunch of stuff where things are like curious. We don't know what's happening or where people are at. Like Scarlet Witch, right, is who knows what's going on with her as well. So there's like all of these loose threads right now, just tons of them. And we're going to wait and I guess figure out how it all plays out. But what we got coming up soon is the Marvels. And I honestly got to say, I think this might be the movie I have seen the least excitement for ever in the MCU.
Yeah, I don't care about Miss Marvel and Captain Marvel and that bullshit. Like,
I'm not like hyped for it, but I'm interested. I'm interested in
will
every
not be
Marvel
seeing
movie.
this one.
Yeah, I mean,
You're gonna
the
see it.
whole-
I will
You
see
can-
it when it comes to Disney Plus, but I'm not gonna fucking go to theaters. to watch it.
Okay, what I think is just interesting. Like people always hate on Captain Marvel. They've always hated on Captain Marvel. I like Captain Marvel. Okay, it's just
I love the first Captain Marvel movie. I thought
It was
Yeah.
just the Brie. It was
I
just
think-
Brie. It's Brie Larson. That's more. And then
Yeah, people don't like Brie Larson. I like Brie Larson. I think the concept of them like when they use their powers and they switch could be freaking cool if they do it right.
Okay.
I don't know who
the-
the villain
the
is.
thing-
but
The one thing that will come from this movie if they do it right is the whole. They touch on like Photon's how she got her abilities. Will they touch on like has others in WandaVision got mutant powers? I wonder if they touch on that at like an end, because we kind of got that at the end of what's it? Is it Marvel?
Yeah,
What's
Miss
her
Marvel.
name?
Yeah, Kamala Khan. Yeah, Miss
Kamala Khan. We got that whole, the 90s X-Men like thing, and then about how she's a mutant.
It
but
is
like-
interesting that this is also right before Deadpool 3, right, as well.
Correct.
I don't think I think that's just a coincidence. But the problem with Captain Marvel is like a lot of us like it really has no connection to like the bigger scale, but it should because it's like that spacey movie. But it's just like, oh, here's some scroll shit. Like, cool.
well, we don't
Dude,
know
that
yet.
whole Secret
But you're
Invasion
probably right.
TV show was fucking just done wrong. Sorry.
So
But-
I gotta say
Okay.
something though, right? I feel like there's so much skepticism and so much like lack of excitement about this the Marvels movie, right? But I will say it does set the table for this to potentially be the most surprising in a positive way movie because everybody's expecting it to be shit, right? And I feel like a lot of people are expecting this movie to suck. They're not excited about the characters. They're not excited about what's going on. But what if this movie does have major events happening that really set the table for things and really has a great story? It really could do that, and this movie could come out of nowhere and surprise everybody with being awesome. It could. I don't have like the biggest expectations. I don't like Miss Marvel's a cool character. I liked the show. It was all right. It wasn't like the best show, but it was like a fun
and
show
they
to watch.
fucked her over too. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel, I like Captain Marvel's character. She's super powerful. They're gonna have is it Monica Rambeau?
Yeah.
Character
Monica Rambeau.
is Photon, right?
Well, It's one of her aliases, but she's Captain Marvel. It's Photon, Captain Marvel, and like 30 other aliases that she
Right.
had in the comics.
So
but-
whatever her alias is or whatever. So they'll have her in it as well, and Nick Fury's in this as well. I have a feeling there will be some more things that happen in this movie that set the stage for some stuff. I'm hoping so. I could be completely wrong, but I feel like for some reason I feel like this movie wouldn't exist unless there was like some reason for it, right?
Yeah, they needed a sequel
Story-wise.
to the awesome Captain Marvel.
Well, I feel
That
like
came
it's
out.
more than I think it's more than that.
Girl power.
I feel like it's like they're using this movie as a story setup movie potentially.
I hope so.
I think that could be what's going on. Don't know though.
Yeah.
Like we'll have to watch it and see. But I gotta say, up to this point, this movie's coming out in what, November? Yeah, November.
Yeah, I mean, they're obviously
11th?
setting up Miss Marvel and
Or
with
no,
that, and
November
they're
10th.
obviously setting up Miss Marvel and Photon with that. So, like,
Yeah.
again, it's going to be a character setup movie, but it's just how do those characters play into the future? And right now, we haven't really seen Captain Marvel do
Well,
that.
I mean, like
wow,
a
she fucking one-shot
bigger-
Thanos pretty much his ship. Like, that's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks for
I
that.
think like a bigger, a bigger picture type scenario, not just their own characters. Like I feel like this movie could set some stuff up finally. Like
Maybe some stuff with the multiverse or Kang or
yeah,
something.
something that we're like, whoa, holy shit moment that we didn't see that coming that happens in this movie. Because if that doesn't happen, then this like I feel like this movie's just gonna be what everybody thought it was gonna be or whatever. You know, so I think it has a chance to surprise. We haven't seen out of all of the movies we've usually seen at this point more trailers, more lead ups, more hints at what's going on. We have seen shit from this movie. We have not seen hardly any trailers, any behind the scenes stuff, any like things. They are keeping things extremely tight lipped about this movie. Now, some could say, well, it's because they think it sucks and they just want to, make sure that they try and keep what excitement there is, or they could be trying to keep things under wraps, right? Like I have a feeling that there could be some stuff going on.
There was a strike.
Yeah, there was a strike.
The only thing I could see that this movie would
yeah,
potentially set up is from the trailers is they do have that character switching mechanic, I guess, from the trailers where like whenever they use their powers they switch.
That's what I'm kind of looking forward to.
So maybe the only thing I could see that maybe that sets up is that the universe itself is breaking, and this is part of that early incursion phase where the universe is mixing up their powers and switching their places because it doesn't know where to put them, and whenever they use their powers, it moves their place.
Yeah, maybe they try and figure out. Maybe the whole point of it's like, what the hell's going on? Let's figure this out, right?
I liked it in the trailer. It was freaking cool when they learn how, like, when they use their powers and another person switch, they kind of use that to their advantage to try and beat the villain person. If you look at the trailer, like they're switching places and they're using that to try and dodge.
Like Nightcrawler.
Yeah, pretty much. Like in the trailer, they were like switching places trying to kill the villain girl, and they knew they were going to switch places, so they like use that to their advantage to try and dodge that villain's attacks. So I feel like it could just be a really cool like team up movie if they do it right. So we'll see.
All right, so also after that we have Deadpool 3. Those are the next two movies, which is it got delayed because of the writers' strike and stuff. So it was supposed to come out earlier, but it's coming out in May 3rd of next year.
Still not technically MCU though, really, is it though?
It should be the tying into the MCU this time.
It's full MCU now.
Yeah, but if you like look up the MCU like list, it's never on there.
It's part of the phase. Yeah, it's part of the phase 5.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. They fully own Deadpool now.
I know they fully own it, but
it's listed in their phase 5.
Oh, okay.
So
this will be the first time. That's why there's rumors that there's going to be multiple Wolverines in this movie. So how I'm thinking is this is a send-off movie for Hugh Jackman, and we're going to get the actual Wolverine.
Are they going to use Deadpool 3 as a way to send off the old mutants and bring in the new ones?
Yeah, I feel like. This
I don't
is
bring in the
movie.
new cast.
On the list that I see, they have the Marvels is part of Phase 5, and then it goes Captain America: New Order, Thunderbolt, and Blade.
I
That's
see.
the remaining.
I
Yeah,
see
definitely.
Deadpool 3 in between the Marvels and Captain America: Brave New World.
I mean, it's part of the MCU. That was the big.
It was Phase 6 on this list. I guess they just moved the
five?
order around. Yeah,
Well,
because
so
it
it's-
goes on the list I see. It says Phase 5 is from 2023 to 2024, and it goes Ant-Man, Guardians 3, Marvels, Captain America, Thunderbolts, Blade, and then Phase 6 starts with Deadpool 3, Fantastic Four,
I think that's just
King
a,
Dynasty.
Oh, yeah, because
that's
yeah,
just an
that
old
makes
list
sense.
where they didn't have all the
Yeah.
time.
But no,
So-
if that is the case, I mean, I'm thinking with this movie, there's rumors that there's gonna be multiple Wolverines and different X-Men and stuff. I'm just thinking that this is the setup for Fantastic Four and X-Men and the new X-Men, the New Mutants. So like, it kind of makes sense if that is going to be the new phase, and if it's next to Fantastic Four, it would make more sense.
Daniel Radcliffe better not be Wolverine.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I don't want him to be Wolverine.
Please no.
Yeah. Yeah, so
But I did hear he's in the movie.
yeah,
so-
Deadpool 3 is Phase 6 because it doesn't come out until
It was supposed to come out this year, wasn't it? Or no?
now it's May 3rd.
Now it's March.
2024.
May.
May 4th. May
Okay.
3rd, sorry.
May 3rd. So then after Deadpool 3, we have Captain America: Brave New World, which will be the first movie as Anthony Mackie playing Captain America.
Is that what it's called? Because here it says Captain America: New World Order.
That's the one I see.
Oh, they changed the name. I don't know from what to what.
I think
but I
it's-
remember them changing the name.
It's listed on Wiki as Brave New World now.
How old is that list?
People update Wiki like regularly, so I don't know.
Okay. Because this is from February 17th, 2023.
I don't want Harry
What is
Potter.
what is
to
the
be
release
Wolverine.
dates? Does it have the release dates on the list you have, Matt, for Captain America?
Yeah, July 26th,
20,
Yeah,
24,
26?
2024.
Okay, because the one I see it says it has it as May 3rd, which I assume that's probably wrong. It got delayed.
Right,
but
because Deadpool is May 3rd.
yeah,
Everything got
'cause-
pushed back, right?
yeah.
I'm pretty sure that this list is accurate. Everything looks accurate on it from what I see. Then they have Thunderbolts for next December 20th. Can somebody explain to me, like I'm an idiot, what the Thunderbolts is? I know who the Thunderbolt guy is, right? He was the guy from the Hulk, right? He like tried to
Thunderbolt Ross.
yeah, Thunderbolt Ross. But can somebody explain to me what the
Ross.
Thunderbolts is?
What Thunderbolt? Like who's in the movie or?
No, like what is the team of the Thunderbolts? Like what is that premise? Like is that the Dark Avengers type thing, or is it like what
So
is
they're
what
like-
is the Thunderbolts? Because I've never read those
they're-
comics or whatever.
They're
I haven't read the Thunderbolt comics either. I always thought
They-
they were boring. So I don't know.
they're like villains that pretend to be like heroic characters.
Yeah, I think they're
Uh,
probably just going to use that to set up the Dark Avengers. That's going to be like their Dark Avengers
And-
movie.
So
and
is
that's how
this
we're gonna
the
get
Dark Avengers
Red
then?
Hulk. It
Pretty much.
could
I think
Sen-
Yeah,
Sen-
because
I think that-
Yelena's in it. We got like Ghost Rider and not Ghost Rider, but they have like Winter Soldier, Yelena, the guy that can't speak. What's his
Yeah,
name?
I
always
think
forget his name.
I think
Black Bolt?
Lena or
Mm-hmm.
Agatha or whatever the fuck her name is recruiting people for Thunderbolt Ross's team, and then once they're all going to get together in the Thunderbolt
So,
Ross movie, and
Yelena-
he's going to be like,
Okay, so the people
Yeah.
y'all were saying earlier, the Dark Avengers, that's the Thunderbolts, right?
Pretty
like
much.
Yelena and all those. You think anyway? Okay.
they're going
Dark
to like.
Avengers are separate,
Yeah,
I don't know how
think-
they're gonna do it. but you think they might just make it?
I think they
so
just
they're-
going to go away from the comics a bit and just make like
One
this is
the
the
Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts, which is also the Dark Avengers, and then
Okay,
Yeah.
that
Thunderbolt
actually makes
Ross is
sense.
going to order them to do stuff around the world, or
They'll probably just
do
never
whatever they
call
do.
them the Dark
Yeah.
Avengers. They'll probably just
Yeah.
call them the Thunderbolts.
Yeah, because it's
Okay.
Yelena,
That makes
Bucky Barnes, John Walker, Master, and Red Guardian and Ghost as Thunderbolt Ross or Thunderbolts.
But that's from the comics, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's
No,
from
the
comic.
movie.
Oh, okay, that's from the movie.
Oh, for
Is
the
that- is
movie?
that a rumor?
Say that one more time.
So it's Yelena, Bucky
Mhm.
Barnes, John Walker, U.S. agent, who
Mhm.
was trying to be Captain America, but
Fake Cap.
Taskmaster,
Who's
Red
dead?
Guardian.
No,
Taskmaster's not dead.
alive. She's alive.
Not?
No, at the end.
Oh, okay.
She was
I forgot.
saved by Black
She-
Widow. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Red Guardian, which was
Mhm.
Black Widow's dad, and then
Yeah.
Ghost, the one that could phase through stuff.
The Ant-Man 2 villain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I forgot about her.
A lot of
That's
people
who-
did. Don't worry.
that's the Thunderbolts.
Yeah, they're probably gonna change that team up a little bit. No, or is that the cast?
I
That's the
think
cast.
that's probably a rumored cast because they haven't announced the cast yet, right? Have they announced the cast?
I don't think so.
This is who
I know we
that-
definitely know Yelena's in it.
Is that from
That-
like one of those YouTube
Valentine-
videos, Psycho?
No, this is who Valentine has been.
Recruiting, handing
re-
the cards
recruiting.
and shit too. Yeah.
So that's who this is.
But I don't remember her recruiting Taskmaster or Ghost.
She definitely recruited Yelena, and
Yeah,
She
Yelena
went up to,
and
up
Yeah.
to someone else, didn't she?
The shitty Captain America dude.
yeah, John Walker and
Oh,
Yelena. And there may have been somebody else too. I can't remember. But
This is
that's the only two I remember. But was it
Well,
did,
this
did
is-
Kate Bishop get recruited from her
no,
or no?
no.
No. Okay.
Is Baron Zemo still alive?
Yes,
He was a Thunderbolt
he in the comics he was. Yeah,
in the comics.
So
You guys remember Zemo, right?
yeah.
yeah.
But
So-
I don't think
I can see her recruiting him.
So it's either that because they've been tagged into Thunderbolts.
I just want to know where this
is
list
why.
you have comes from. That's all. That's like
It's what they're listing.
for who's listing it? Like who's listing it? Like where does it? What is this thing you're
Den-
reading?
Den of Geek.
Okay, so that's a rumor. That's probably speculation, right?
But you live in speculation town.
Well,
I live. I'm just saying, like
I thought you lived
I
it. What
don't
happened? You
want-
don't live in
if it's-
speculation town.
If this is not a confirmed list, I don't want people to that
well,
are
it
listening
could
to think it's a
be
confirmed
in
list.
like
Well, if it was
IDMB,
confirmed list, it'll be fun confirmed.
It could be,
but we
like,
are fun
these
speculating.
That's what I'm
actors
trying to find
are
out. Is it a confirmed list
listed.
or not?
Well, it could be that the actors
right.
are listed in the movie with Thunderbolts, and that's why they're mentioning that.
Okay, so I'll go to Thunderbolts on IMDb right now and see what it says.
It
Florence.
said at San Diego Comic-Con, we finally got our first real look at Marvel's Lucasfilm's 20 blah blah blah, where the full roster and cast were revealed among other details for the
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that's
Yeah,
what I wanna
Comic Con
know.
usually
Right.
gets
Oh, that.
Comic-Con
that.
usually gets
Thank you,
trailers and stuff.
Jasper. That's what I was asking. Okay, so
Well, they didn't say anything about Comic Con, all right?
so
just saying this is who
Steve
they list.
Steve Yeun is in it. Who is he gonna play?
Oh,
Steve Yeun.
He's from Walking Dead.
yeah,
Glenn. Yeah.
Glenn,
Huh?
Whatever.
No, it's
Glenn
it's-
from Walking Dead.
yeah, Glenn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's been in he's in some other shows and stuff like that. He's a pretty big actor.
I don't know.
So you got John Walker here. You have is this the girl that played Ghost? Yeah, that's the girl that played Ghost is in it. Ayo Edebiri, who she's actually from the show The Bear, and she also played April O'Neil in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie that just came out. She did the voice. She's in it, but there's no named character there. So then you had David Harbour. You got Olga Kurylenko. She's Taskmaster. Harrison Ford is playing Thunderbolt Ross.
Oh, Deadpool is in Thunderbolts
really?
in the comics.
What happened to the guy that was Thunderbolt?
looked it
Ross?
I think he passed away, didn't he?
Oh.
I think
I was.
so.
I'm not 100% on that, but
So you have Harrison Ford?
yeah.
Oh, maybe he's Ross. Maybe he's the new Ross.
No, he is. That's what it says. He's
Oh,
Harrison.
okay.
Yeah. Florence Pugh's in it as Yelena. Bucky Barnes. Sebastian Stan is again Bucky Barnes. So yeah, that's pretty. I mean, that's a concrete list. I'm curious who Ayo Edebiri and Steve Yeun are playing though.
Focus Active says it's Sentry.
The Sentry? Isn't that
Sentry is?
Isn't that one of the comics that your boss made or something?
Yeah, my boss. Yeah, he created the Sentry. He's kind of like the Marvel Superman in a way. He's very powerful.
Okay.
And he creates the Void.
So
yeah, he's freaking.
Steve Yeun's gonna play Sentry, and then Ayo Edebiri is gonna play. I mean, I'm trying to find this out. What character? It says she's joining the cast.
Who?
Ayo Edebiri. She's from the Bear show.
Oh yeah.
What is the mystery role? Speculation. Founding Thunderbolt Meteorite, secretly the villain Moonstone and her Masters of Evil guys has flashed. People are they saying it's maybe somebody named Moonstone?
Yeah, I'm seeing just a lot of speculation. There's like Bullseye, Sentry, Ares for Steve Yeun, Clay
Right.
Quartermain, Rick Jones, just
Songbird.
random. Yeah,
Yeah.
people are just kind of speculating.
Yeah. Okay. It'll be interesting with who they're playing, or maybe they're not even playing heroes. They could be playing like, the Darcy character or whatever. You know what I mean? The one that is in the office or something. Who knows? So yeah, but this Thunderbolts, and then what's supposed to happen after that, after December of next year and February 14th of 2025 is Blade. But that movie had seen so many like delays and issues
rewrites
and everything. I feel like the whole monster side or dark saga shit with all of like the that stuff that like Moon Knight was setting up, and you also had
It's the end of Eternals.
yeah,
And
I
then
think-
End
the
of Eternals, and that other like
monster
yeah,
yeah.
that was a really cool movie. Whatever, I forget the name of it, but that was really
Werewolf at Midnight, or
yeah, something like that. That was really
Something,
cool.
yeah.
Werewolf by Midnight.
But that's not even listed on the phases, so I think it's just like a little standalone thing.
Yeah,
that
it's
they're doing.
because it's the Disney Plus stuff.
But I feel like
Werewolf by Night. Sorry.
yeah, Werewolf by Night. That was really good. That's kind of like the whole thing that's taken the longest to get kickstarted, right, with them because of the delays. I think to Blade and all this kind of stuff. So
We could see that whole monster supernatural stuff kind of be like the TV shows, and like Blade being the big action movie, and then everything else kind of like
Ghost
TV
Rider and
shows,
Blade.
and then like the bigger stuff we'll see movie wise, but it'd be like standalone. It won't be really anything with what.
Well, Blade's the only
this-
monster movie they really have.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The other
Yeah.
stuff will be TV shows.
yeah, Moon Knight.
Unless
love
if you
Moon
count
Knight,
like
so
Black
Morbius
Knight.
and stuff, because I mean it's kind of connected, but not really.
Yeah,
Because I think
Ghost Rider.
Well,
at
there
some
is.
point.
They have Dracula, actual Dracula. It's not Morbius. They actually have Dracula
yeah,
in MCU. But we, like I said, we could see like how they could do like the Halloween theme TV shows like that to kind of promote those shows. So we'll get something around that time. Black Knight could be making an entrance in the Blade movie, and then set up some TV shows
yeah.
after the fact.
So again, this year we have Marvel's Deadpool 3 and Captain America, and then next year. So this year we have the Marvels. Next year we have Deadpool 3, Captain America, and Thunderbolts, and then the year after that we have Blade, and then it's supposed to be going into Phase 6. And the only 3 movies that are listed right now with Phase 6 is Fantastic Four, Avengers: The King Dynasty, and Avengers: Secret Wars. But those are all set for May of 3 different years. There's also other movies that they have not slated in yet, like Armor Wars, supposedly. Whatever the next Spider-Man movie will be, the next Shang-Chi movie. I feel like Phase 6 is going to grow. We haven't.
yeah, for sure.
So, and we don't know out of all of this,
We got a long dry spell though. Fucking
Yeah.
Deadpool 3 is the only excited movie coming out.
I'm excited for the next few movies. Deadpool 3, Captain America, and then Thunderbolts, I think could be interesting.
Yeah, Avengers is 2026.
And this is not counting all the show stuff. Yeah, all the show stuff.
But they're slowing down on the show stuff, right?
Yeah,
I remember them saying like, we need
but
to
we're
slow
getting
down.
She-Hulk season 2, so that's what matters.
That's
Hey, there's a lot of hate on She-Hulk. I don't think it was
because
warranted.
it deserves it.
now,
I don't think it was 100%.
I was on
warranted.
board for She-Hulk. I was all into it. I was into the whole like breaking the fourth wall stuff. All that. I didn't care about any of that. I thought it was great. I thought the show was kind of funny and like different and interesting and stuff. And then the last episode just shat on the entire thing, and I just fucking hate it now. Like it wasted. It felt like the last episode told me I wasted my entire fucking time watching every other episode in that show because they just there was like no story at the end of the day. Everything that we saw didn't matter. And they just threw it away. Like, hey, you remember the other like 7 episodes?
Yo, but we got Meg Stallion fucking twerking. It's awesome, bro.
You remember
all you horny fuckers out there? Look at that. 7
episodes we got of watching this. Hey, you know the time you invested watching the story arc that we're progressing and you were expecting this kind of payoff at it? No, everything that wasn't real. None of it matters. It's all bullshit. That's what they did with the last episode. I understand breaking the fourth wall, but that's just like going too far for something like this. Maybe like to end a comic at the end, you know, you read a comic book or whatever, and it's like, oh, funny, yeah, whatever. But to like have us watch this like 6 or 7, how many episodes there was of the show, and just say like, hey, none of it fucking mattered. I was like, okay, well, fuck you too then. You don't matter to me. If
the best thing that came out of She-Hulk was the fucking Daredevil's coming back, and he's getting like 40 fucking episodes of a show.
Is he though? Like, we don't know because everything didn't fucking matter that happened in the entire thing. So maybe not. Like, I don't know. Nothing mattered. Everything that happened, you can just fucking throw it away. That's what they did with the last episode.
But everyone says that's She-Hulk in the comic book.
She-Hulk breaks the fourth wall in the comic books. I get all that stuff, right? But to like obliterate an entire season of a show,
it's not like they fucking follow the comic books fucking all the time anyway.
Yeah, you don't have to obliterate the entire show to make a funny joke about, hey, like, fuck you, audience. We got you. Yeah, no, thanks. Funny joke, assholes. Like, can I get my time back in my life? Because everything
also is the worst CG they've ever put out.
Yeah.
Nah. I don't know.
No, that dude
I think she looked okay. I think for season 2, what they should focus on is
not making it
more. They're making it. So like they should focus on it being like showing more of her lawyerness, because that's what makes her different from like the Hulk, is her being a lawyer and having to deal with.
I want to see her go on Tinder more. That's fucking amazing.
I wouldn't mind seeing like lawyer cases with other superheroes and stuff. That's interesting, right? Like I don't know, because
she in the comics she's like a lawyer, and then there's damage control, which was in Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah, I think so.
The one with the Vulture, I think that was Homecoming.
Yeah.
Where heroes make all this mess and stuff, and they're the ones that clean it up and deal with the insurance and all that. So if they do something like that for season 2, it could be interesting.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I look at all the movies, every single Marvel movie that we've discussed today, I've enjoyed. I was entertained by. Even the crappy Thor, Love and Thunder, right? There's pieces of every Marvel content, like I'll be like, man, that sucks. That sucks. I still enjoy watching.
The problem is we just haven't had like the greats though that we got with the early phases. Like nothing's.
But we just listened to like at least with the Phase 4. I was like, when we were going through it, I was actually surprised of how many movies after Endgame was actually pretty dang good. Like Shang-Chi and stuff.
Shang-Chi and Spider-Man.
Shang-Chi and Spider-Man. Yeah. I forgot the other ones. Guardians 3 and stuff. I mean, there was a few like little ones in there, like that was like yes, the other phase with Endgame was like almost perfect in my eyes. Like the way they set up Thanos and a lot of different storylines were kind of being closed and stuff, and I felt satisfied by the time I watched Endgame. I was like, yes, this is how you freaking do it. Like they spent 10 years building up this story and they rewarded me for watching it. They are not there with these phases. That's obvious, but like I'm still like a comic book nerd and I still enjoy watching every single one of these movies. Like, yes, I will say like this sucks, whatever, but at the end of the day, I'm still gonna watch like almost all the different Marvel movies. They've at least with 15 years of movies, what they've done to me as a consumer, as a watcher, is they've earned my ticket. DC has not done that. You know, I could say a lot of crap about Marvel and all this stuff, like, oh, you suck, whatever. But they had like 10 plus years of movies where it was freaking good, right?
Yeah.
So they have at least earned like me checking stuff out. And I'm just a comic book nerd, so I'm going to watch it regardless. That's just generality. Like, we talked about each movie, like, this one sucks, this one's good, you know. At the end of the day, I'm a nerd. I'm going to watch all of it. I'm still entertained by most of these movies. I'm gonna watch Miss Marvel. I'm gonna watch whatever movie comes out after Deadpool, She-Hulk season 2. I'll watch it all, even if I don't like it, or I might like it. You never know. But yeah, that is the end of 3-bit speech about Marvel and my love for it.
Very, very interesting. 3-bit. I agree with you though. Like I'm on the same page. Like I like all these movies. I like the DC movies too, to be honest with you. Like I like them all. I just like superhero shit, you know. I didn't seen Blue Beetle yet. That's like the only one I haven't seen. But
I heard that was really good. I forgot about that movie.
The critics liked it. I don't think anyone else did.
Really? I didn't see it yet.
There's been
it looked like utter trash.
People liked it. People liked it. So there's been 32 MCU movies come out since they started in 2008. 32 MCU movies since 2008. That is an insane amount of movies. Like, and that doesn't include all the ones that is set to come out. Like, and I've actually enjoyed every single one.
And we have like one DCU movie.
I mean, you like Thor: Dark World?
I like it. Like I don't like hate it. I have my issues with it, right? But I was entertained when I watched it, and you know what I mean. Like, and I feel like it wasn't a waste of time because it had impact with other things. Like, still,
You liked Iron Man 3?
I enjoyed it. Yeah, I enjoyed.
That was like the first time he had all the suits and stuff.
There's definitely what we need to do is we need to rank these at some point. Like,
I think we did that.
Did we do it once? I don't remember. But like,
updated list.
I mean, obviously, I liked some of them way more than others, right?
Yeah.
You know, but I don't feel. I feel like I still enjoyed watching every single one of them. So I'm kind of on board with 3-bit with that.
I think Cap had the best trilogy.
Yeah,
most consistent.
Right? Probably
most consistent.
Yeah.
But Guardians is actually up there.
I
didn't like 3 as much. But
Cap, the other stories really like the Avengers stories really focused on him too.
A lot of people didn't like the first Captain America movie, but I liked it.
I
didn't like it at first, but
his stories
when I rewatched it, I loved it.
Yeah, his stories got better as they went too. You know, So we're gonna move on from this fun discussion. We only got one other thing I want to get to, and that's the Disney movie for Xbox, or Disney game that could be coming to Xbox from Bethesda. It's rumored that it's Disney. There's a licensed IP game that was part of the leaks. It's rumored that it's Disney. There was speculation that Disney may show up last year at the showcase. That didn't happen from first party. It happened with Star Wars Outlaws. But was Special Nick on Xbox Era said that he thinks it's a Disney movie, or he's heard it is, or something like that, or a Disney game. I keep talking about movies so damn much. A Disney game from the Disney family. So I just want a prediction from each one of y'all before we leave. What, if it's from Disney, what IP is it? Like who? And if you can't just say superhero or Marvel, I want like a specific character or team, or if it's Star Wars or you want to go there, or something else. I want a prediction from each one of you, some fun speculation about what Disney IP it is that Bethesda is making. So we'll start with Psycho.
I think they're gonna make. I think they're gonna make X-Men without Gambit though.
Oh, you just did that to piss me off.
That's the name of the game, X-Men without Gambit.
Without Gambit. No, it's a tough question, man, because there was a lot of speculation of it being a Star Wars game, and then talks of it's going to be a Marvel game. But like something that would be a Bethesda game that would kind of tie in of what they would do, maybe some kind of powers, abilities, but it's going to be like single player, I believe. So can't really do an X-Men, but you could do possibly like a Doctor Strange. I know they're trying to go away from the Punisher, because that would have been a no-brainer on my part. But I think I would just stick with Doctor Strange, because he has the abilities, powers. You kind of saw that with Tokyo,
Ghostwire
Tokyo. Yeah, it's kind of see that with Dishonored. So you had some kind of powers, and they have the ability to make a possibly a really good game, and you can go anywhere with Doctor Strange. So,
right on. I like it. What about you, Jasper?
So I think this is just going to be based off of, part of it's going to be based off the financial list. If you look at it, it's only estimated to make $5 million less than Indiana Jones. I would feel if it's Star Wars, they would probably have that estimate higher, unless it's just some random character. So I don't think it's Star Wars. So I'm kind of like, who's less popular than Indiana Jones or about that level? And I kind of got to go with a Marvel character. I'm thinking it could be like a Black Widow game or some shit made by like Arcane. They do have Dishonored 3 coming out shortly after it, so it could be the other Arcane studio maybe doing that, because they do that kind of stealthy stuff. And we also know that Skullsy talked about a potential Spies versus Spies codename game, and that would fit with Black Widow because she's a spy. This is just all speculation, so it kind of lines up. Black Widow would be less popular than Indiana Jones, I would think.
but you could go. You could say that with Nick Fury and.
Yeah, I said that in the DMs,
Punisher.
that it could be a Nick Fury or a Black Widow game. But I feel like they would do Black Widow over Nick Fury just because she's kind of more. She has more of a face in the Marvel cinematic universe.
You're gonna say flexible.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, she's more flexible. She's bendy.
So that's my guess.
Okay. Mr. 7-Digit asked, what happened to the rumored Black Panther game? There's a Black Panther / Captain America game being made by Amy Hennig's new studios, Skydance.
And there's the EA one, right?
Yeah. Also that one. So there's actually two. And also EA is making an Iron Man game.
Yeah.
So lots of Marvel stuff out there. Just saying. What about you, 3-Bit?
I think I'm there with Jasper, and in thinking that if that budget thing was pretty accurate, and it's kind of priced underneath Indiana Jones, I think maybe a Blade game. Because I'm just thinking about like Bethesda and this. They really
Yeah.
like story related content, and if they want to do like maybe Blade and he's talking to other like people in the city and like do vampire and different storylines and still have that Bethesda formula. I feel like Blade could work pretty well in that. He's not a super well known character. You can play around with it still being Bethesda kind of. Sticking with that if they are making the game. I'm not sure which studio is going to make the game, but it could fit. I don't think they'll do something like an Avengers or X-Men because I mean Bethesda doesn't really do multiplayer games like that. None of their studios really do that I can think of. They could experiment and be like, hey, like a Fallout 76 situation, be like, hey, let's make a multiplayer type game, especially with a Disney IP. But I just see them like kind of sticking to what they're comfortable with,
I think
what
it's
they
gonna be
know.
a single player experience.
Yeah, I think it'll be single player. So I'm gonna go with like a smaller character like Blade, and the reason why I also pick Blade is because if they're making like Indiana Jones and they just had the movie to kind of help it out a little bit, maybe there's a Blade movie. I mean it's kind of in flux right now, but there is a Blade movie coming, and a game could also help a movie could help a game, etc., etc. That usually happens with promotion. So I was thinking about the slate of movies that's coming up from Marvel, and if they can make a game kind of coinciding with Marvel's release schedule, and it makes sense to make a Blade game.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah.
like it. Okay. If it's Blade, I hope it's not Arcane because vampires, you know.
Stay away from vampires.
Yeah, stay away from vampires for a while, Arcane.
Don't use
you know?
the same assets, please.
Yeah. Man. So I've been thinking about this a lot too, Jasper, and like my hopes and dreams were for an X-Men game, but like if that dollar amount thing is accurate, I think X-Men would just fucking like obliterate everything, you know? Like it would be really up there.
The only way that wouldn't make sense is if like I don't know, like maybe the X-Men and the Star Wars IP price is way too high, so they lowered their estimated profit revenue from that.
It's possible.
Is that was it estimated revenue or estimated profit?
I think it just said estimated forecast for revenue.
Okay.
And it showed like Indiana Jones's revenue, and then it had that project.
So it may not have anything to do with profit. Then, like, if it's just revenue, then it's like, oh man, and it's really tricky because there's things that I think they would do really well, but don't know if it fits with like the IPs. Part of me was thinking if it was Star Wars, maybe they did like a solo thing because they did the Indiana Jones thing. Maybe they did a solo thing too, just like double it up on Harrison Ford stuff, right? But then I'm like, well, like that would probably sell more than Indiana Jones, right? So then that forecast also doesn't necessarily make sense. So X-Men would be more, I think solo would be more. And then, so I'm looking at it thinking like, what could be slightly less than Indiana Jones? And I think we're on the cusp of like those Marvel characters that are like lesser known, like you said, right? So I'll just, because I can't think of it like specifically what it could be, I'll go out on a limb and say they're gonna make fucking Gambit, yo. Let's go. This Gambit the game.
The budget, the forecast isn't $5 million, man.
No, come on. No, it's gonna be badass. Gambit. People don't realize how much they love Gambit. They just don't know it. Mm-hmm. Once Gambit movies come out and Gambit video games come out, it's gonna be the most popular superhero ever.
It would be pretty cool to like throw cards and then like this cape is flowing around and
he doesn't wear a cape. He has a trench coat, motherfucker.
His trench coat.
Yeah.
His trench coat.
Cherie, come here, Rogue, and
the thing that throws the forecast guess out the window is like we don't know the scope of the game. We don't know how big or small it is, and
so the other aspect is it could be monumentally larger than Indiana Jones and be like a huge multiplayer thing that they think is going to make a shit ton of money, Also,
they have to invest more in, so they
right,
won't get
so
as much
If
back.
that's the
Well,
case, then I'll do
or
X-Men.
maybe they're gonna sell it for less, or it's free to play, or like who knows? Because if it's Roundhouse has a history as formerly Human Head Studios, right? And they've made multiplayer, like MMO style type games. They've made single player games. They've made everything under the sun, right? Like, so you can't look at the history of that studio and point to one thing. But now that we kind of have an idea of what id's working on, we know Machine Games is working on. We know all these other studios are working on. The only other ones is like Roundhouse or ZeniMax Online, right? And then the other thing in the leaks kind of led that ZeniMax Online's game is probably the one that has an expansion, the Project Kestrel. But we don't know that for sure. But even if it was, like that would still leave the door open to X-Men, right? So I'm just gonna say it's somebody from X-Men. It's gonna be X-Men or it's gonna be Gambit. Let's go.
Okay, so Roundhouse Studios was formed in 2019. Sorry,
1905 from
so Bethesda. Exactly. So Bethesda Softworks opened a new development studio, Roundhouse Studios.
Yeah.
The developers at Roundhouse represent more than 2 decades working together on a variety of games and genre,
Studios,
including RPGs, shooters, action-adventure games, and more. So it could be fucking anything, guys.
That's 100%. If it's Roundhouse, it may not be Roundhouse. But if it's Roundhouse, there's no telling.
Who else could it be? It ain't Alpha Dogs.
Could be ZeniMax Online. It's game.
Yeah, I mean, the games that just came out. So like Redfall, they should be getting a new game out in like 4 or 5 years. Like that Arcane Austin should be. Like that's why I said that maybe it's that, but they do have Dishonored coming out.
But their rumors is Dishonored 3, right? It was that.
Yeah, but that could be Arcane Leon.
Yeah, I know there's 2 Arcane teams, so yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
That's what I'm trying to think of, like games that have just come out, because like if it's a studio that we already know about, then they should be getting a new game out in 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, but
so it's like
Roundhouse's game though hasn't that. We know that they've been developing something for a long time.
Yeah,
like I think Roundhouse would be my money. Like if I was to put it on a studio, I would say it's probably Roundhouse. But I don't like it isn't like a guarantee. It could be.
Yeah, because you think about it, Bethesda, they're busy working on Starfield. Before this came out,
and they're gonna go immediately into Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah, and then Machine Games, they're working on Indiana Jones.
And if they are working on something else, it would be another Wolfenstein. I feel like
Arcane was working on Redfall.
The only other possibility would
would
be like we know that they saw Ghostwire Tokyo 2 is on that list, but they do have 2 teams. But again, that like smaller team that put out High Five Rush is going to make a $225 million game.
So that leaves Roundhouse, right? Is it what other team is left?
ZeniMax Online, but there was a Project Kestrel listed.
They were working on a bunch of DLC for.
Yeah, but there's already been a game that they said ZeniMax Online's making this huge other game. So they said that at the roundtable when they announced ZeniMax Bethesda, and they sat with Todd and Pete and all the people from Bethesda. They talked about ZeniMax Online has the biggest project and the biggest game they've ever done before, and we can't wait to share that with you when we're ready.
Well, that's the freaking case with this new info. Then yeah, I'll say X-Men. And screw whatever that financial.
But the interesting thing is the project name is Project Kestrel, we think, for that game, and not the superhero game. Because if you look at the leaks, the only games that listed expansions were the ZeniMax Online games, right? And Project Kestrel had an expansion a year after release. So that led people to think that's probably ZeniMax Online's big game is Project Kestrel. And then the licensed Disney game licensed game is separate, right? Now, it also could not be Disney. It's possible that it's not, right? I believe
it's Disney.
Yeah, I know you do. It could be Star Wars. It could be Mandalorian. A lot of people think it's Mandalorian. Yeah.
So,
we'll see.
Yeah. That's. I mean, I think just cutting down the studios is thinking about what they're all developing. unless they are just developing gods and could just do a lot of projects at once.
I mean, there's also
Why don't
id.
you
Like
ask Insane Cakes 3-bit? He knows.
id could theoretically break into two
I'm
teams
sure he
too,
does.
and put out Doom and something else. Like
Yeah.
there's certain studios that are big enough to split up and put out two projects within a couple
Well,
years.
if it was Doom, if it was id, it would have to be the Punisher, right? But like,
I mean, there's other stuff it could be, but
that would be
That's
amazing.
That'd be awesome. I wonder, or Ghost Rider.
like, I mean, they could theoretically
Oh,
do a Mando game too.
A
Like,
Ghost Rider game would be sick, dude. Like an
That'd be-
open world
Yeah.
like Ghost Rider game. You go around like ride your
Id
bike and
engine.
shit. Like, oh my god.
oh, like Ghostwire Tokyo.
No, Ghost Rider. Like you're riding around your bike on the flames in a city and shit.
Yeah, and you
like,
go and you claim souls and
Yeah.
That was their test.
Ghost
test
Rider
game.
Tokyo is more is slower paced.
Yeah,
though,
I
like,
know.
Yeah.
just fucking-
Yeah. There's
That'd be
a
sick.
lot of things.
I say Ghost Rider. Now that I'm thinking
Yeah.
about it.
Ghost Rider would be
I-
sick. That would sell like
Ghost
crazy, too.
Ghost Rider would be like a $70 million fucking forecast though.
70 Ghost Rider. You think it'd be that low?
Yeah, like I don't think people give a shit. Like Indiana
Oh.
Jones would be way higher than Ghost Rider.
Oh, I think the second you announce
Yeah.
a Ghost Rider game, it's gonna fucking erupt into absolute chaos. People are gonna be so excited for that shit, dude. Like you announce it like it's actually looks like a big budget, like high production. People fucking love Ghost Rider. Like I honestly think it would actually surpass the Indiana Jones.
Indiana.
Yes.
I think it has the potential to, depending on how they do it. I think like just riding his bike and stuff would be sick. It could be open world. I don't know. Depends on the studio. Like that's why I'm really hinging on who's developing it, because they all have different styles of
Yeah.
developing.
So another game that do y'all remember the game called Defiance? It was on 360. And
Yeah, I love that game.
Yeah,
It's
the
an
TV
MMO.
show or something.
His MMO,
Yeah.
there was a show at the same time on like Sci-Fi or something.
Yeah.
That was Human Head Studios that made that game, and so they have a history of doing like an MMO style online game as well. So it could.
I
be...
played the shit out of that, but that honestly wasn't a great game. Like
no,
overall,
it was, but like that was probably lower budget, all that kind of stuff back then. Like who was really like it was based on a TV show that had just come out. It was a whole project, like an idea that somebody had to do both in tandem and stuff. But like if they really like, I mean, this is different kind of backing, but with Bethesda now and now with Microsoft and stuff, like they could do something special online as well, right? So even if it's Roundhouse, I wouldn't rule out a MMO. You know, it could be an MMO or it could be a single player game
with a tie into a TV show. So what's a Disney Plus TV show coming out in 2024 or whatever?
That's a good question. I wouldn't mind an animated like X-Men like 97 style game. That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Anyway, everybody, let's get the hell out of here. Thank you all for being here as usual. You guys rock. This chat's been awesome this whole time.
Harry Potter.
Big discussions on Marvel. I can't wait to see where that goes. Psycho, tell everybody where they can find you, bro.
Thank you, everyone, for coming out tonight. It's always fantastic doing shows that we love to do. So you can catch me everywhere on Xbox Ultimate. Oh my God. Hold on. Let me rewind. You can catch me everywhere on social media at Psychonauts 8. Mondays, FSP at 10 o'clock. Here, Tuesdays for Fun Pop. And always on Friday, 10 o'clock with Xbox Ultimate. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Psycho. What about you, Jasper?
Yo, check it out. Lord Jasper, Twitter, Lord Master Jasper, YouTube. Said it right this time. It's been a week. Monday, Tuesday, and Friday, 10 o'clock, right here on the Fun Speculation Network with FSP, Fun Pop, and Xbox Ultimate. Do my own stuff on my own YouTube. I've been wanting to stream. Hopefully, I'll do that tonight because I've been playing Squad, a Star Wars mod on there. It's like basically Star Wars Battlefront 3. It's amazing. So I've been wanting to stream that. So that's probably what I'll do if I have time tomorrow. And yeah,
Right on.
check it out.
Thank you, sir. And 3-Bit, thank you for being here as well. Where can everybody find you, sir?
Everyone can find me on the Twitters, or I guess it's the X's now,
The X's.
and the X's at I3bit. That is my tag. Don't you forget it. I'm on
What
this
was it?
show. I3bit.
Oh, okay.
It's the I, not like a EYE, but just an I with the dot. And then that's how you guys find me. And once you find me, I'm on this show, and I'm on the Monday FSP. Now, everybody in the chat, y'all are awesome. Stay awesome, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.
Wow.
Right on. Thanks for keeping that energy up. Appreciate it.
Woo.
Yeah,
Trigger tired.
Thursday we got PM in the PM with Pong Soul and I at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Friday's Xbox Ultimate at 10 p.m. Eastern, and back on Monday for FSP at 10 p.m. Eastern, and then here for Fun Pop also 10 p.m. Eastern time. Thank you all for being here and watching the show, and I hope you all have a fantastic night. Go watch some Marvel movies. Watch Eternals again. We'll see. Maybe maybe
I wanna watch that
better
again.
the second time around. Have a good one. Peace out.
Bye, y'all.
I don't even know what this scene is set up. What was that? A dog?
Like a car.
Bye.